I will be your MC and hostess for the day. Well, half day. Our flow will be quite simple and straightforward, very interesting. We'll have a mix. But housekeeping to start. Washrooms out of either of the doors to your right, straight reception desk. You will see them on your left. They are very. You haven't been there. Ladies, please. It has the mirror for selfies. Just chill. But please don't miss sessions. I don't know what your washrooms look like. I have never been in. But karibuni sana. Come to this space. Yours are not fancy. Oh, I'm so. But we welcome you to a half day of celebrating innovation, ideation, and implementation. For those of you who don't know what Itatu stands for, that's what it represents. So if you look up here with me on the logo, it says ideate, innovate, and implement. Because those are the things we need. To ask us to rise for a word of prayer. Kenyans, this is our habit. See, we always pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to transform our nation and indeed the world. We thank you for the capacity to live out. God, as we spend time here today, we will have a sense of joy and accomplishment, but fire in our bellies to keep moving. This is indeed your work. This nation is indeed in your name we pray. So, icebreaker. Quickly turn those two tables together, okay? Hapa kuna nne. Introduce yourself to one person, and you don't have, okay, so those ones can be together. Hapa ni mbili mbili, that's okay. Somewhere. Over there, okay, that row I give you. Introduce yourself and talk to one person, ideate or implement. You have 2 minutes. Okay. All right, our 2 minutes are up. Switch. Let's switch. 2 more minutes. I can see there's a group there. How do you innovate, ideate, and implement? Hii section hapa sikuona switch. Can I have 3 volunteers to tell us something interesting? 3 volunteers. 3 volunteers. If you don't volunteer yourself, I will volunteer you. Just take the mic and speak. You have 30 seconds to talk about Kenya. I can see.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I am Vivian, civil engineering. What I learned from Itatu was the design thinking process that was intense, and I've used.
You learned from here. Please give it to that table of mentors. Yes, over there. What interesting thing have you and figure out who is speaking?
were quite innovative. They were quite dedicated. The team that I had was very dedicated. They were from different universities, which I thought was quite commendable.
30 seconds.
Hi, my name is Modoni. Is that to create the best solutions, you first have to observe the problem.
So your powers of observation are okay. I will ask you an observation question towards the end of the program. I hope you will have that interaction. Why do we do that? Because when we have a few facts, because before I call on our first speaker, so Itatu from 26 universities. Now the universities, 21 were local Kenyan universities, 5 were with 5 corporates to design products or possible solutions. And the stuff I have had has blown my mind. So you can't convince me that Gen X don't have ideas. Since we had IT, animal health management, chemistry, veterinary medicine, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, clinical medicine. And they managed, okay? And then we had 1 PhD student, 3 masters. I ask myself, and I will pause here for 2 seconds for us to think, as communities to develop. If innovation is, why are we so slow as a continent to move forward? Don't give me an answer, think about it. Kia project coordinator. And I think he has some interesting things to say to us this morning. So a round of applause as he comes.
Habari asubuhi. Mko salama? Two gentlemen, very extreme. It looks like they are not together with us. Yes. Good to see you. I'm glad to have joined the team today as we celebrate you have to ideate. At that stage, you are dreaming. Then, once it concretizes an idea which you move to become an innovation, then you develop it to a prototype, a product, then it moves to a product which can be sold, can be offered, so is connected to one another. As I go all about CAPE, Kenya Industry and Entrepreneurship Project. How was it conceived? What does activities over and above the high Itatu component? For some of us who are interacting with CAPE for the first time, CAPE is a big project. It's a small project. It's a big, but it's also small. It depends on which context you take it. 2018, the government, which is basically aiming at how do we drive innovation and productivity. And this has to be tied to the sector. So you increase innovation and productivity for private sector firms. Now, how do you do it? We have 3 components. First is the component we are in, whereby we're looking at how do we strengthen the innovation and entrepreneurship. The first item under that item is the accelerators, basically the farms who are supporting and until they become big businesses. That's the first item. Second is where you're able to access local resources in terms of market access and international resources, whereby you can access markets outside the country and international acceleration. Then is looking at industry academia platform. Basically, we're looking at bringing together industry on one side, fraternity. Of course, government will be there to support them. But whereas the universities, the students have the ideas of transform, can solve the pain point of the company. And that's where the Itatu was born, level. Under level 2, I know some of us, maybe you've heard about it. Assist the small and medium enterprises, basically to improve their linkages to them by providing a performance improvement grant. But it looks a little bit of the big firms. That in a nutshell, that is what is kept. I don't want to go too deeper. To celebrate 1 year. On July 2023, we met Westlands, and we launched the Itatu as sub-component. And participate can contribute to viable ideas, viable solution ideas which can be proposed to farms for their haptech. It has been a start where the students have been paired with mentors, players, corporate leaders, basically to hold them in the process of developing their foundations by them. We will listen to stories from the corporates and celebrate the milestones, the journey they've walked together, and see together as where do we take this platform to in terms of the next steps. So those are the kind of the things we're going to. Let me stop there. But before I sit down, let me recognize we have the private sector, of course, led by John and other firms. We have the universities players, the professors, the other colleagues from the SKY's Ministry of Industry. We have colleagues from UNESCO. Fully participate, give us the best ideas which thereafter now we'll be able to sit down with them, with all the stock, whereby now we can articulate a clear path.
Very informative, very informative. Right now I'd like to call up, the guy who's been leading the team in the trenches. Every team has a leader, so I'd like to what the project has done, how it has felt, and then we will have another implementation partners. Dr. I said we clap until he gets to the stage. Okay, so there's the video from, I need to get this name right, from Professor Diedrich de Boer. Can we do the video first? Can we run the video, please?
Development, sustainability, and AI. Dear participants, here today with you, but it's great to have this event and see so many of you here today. I'm Itatu de Boer, and I'm a professor of sustainable business development and the director of the Expert Center on Emerging Economies, extensively, mostly in the field of leadership, industry linkages, institutional development. It was a hectic ride so far, but now we are at the stage on showing you the first partnership, Itatu. We linked industrial challenges identified by our industrial partners to a group of students from different disciplines in different universities in Kenya. For 8 weeks, first of all, the Micro Dairy Challenge from Endless Africa, which looked at how to disrupt and at how to make the mango value chain sustainable by dealing with issues of traceability from tree to juice, and also how to handle waste from mango processing. The third challenge is from the Center of Excellence in Digital and Green Transition by Power, and Lightning sought to see how they can transform its business model and support its clients to manage the twin transition of sustainability and digitalization. The fourth challenge, Green Mobility from Oil to Hydrogen, looks into how hydrogen can become a source of energy in the future. And finally, the fifth challenge is the Telephone Farmers Challenge posed by LRC Foundation and Latvia Agro Business Solutions, sought to unlock the opportunity of telephone farming. I know many of you here are grappling with this challenge as you try to farm while pursuing a professional career. So in final, 12 solutions were delivered by the students drawn from 29 different universities. The group of students were mentored by specialized mentors from Itatu. Students also benefited from international mentorship offered by our partner Demola from Finland, the most innovative country in the world, some say. Itatu is the first of its kind platform in Kenya. Kenya has now joined the global trend that has seen increasingly businesses and organizations move towards an open, innovative approach. Many lessons were learned, and now we have a very good idea of how an open innovation platform should be implemented in the Kenyan context. These are lessons that MSM will also seek to transform to other regions and countries we are working in as a push for a more open innovation and a core to solving development challenges. We hope to have more engagement in the future with the partners we have brought on board, move towards building prototypes and eventually implementing ideas coming out. Indeed, the 12 ideas developed are the first seeds of building a vibrant, open innovation platform. The next step now is to institutionalize the processes and also to get Itatu as platform running in a sustainable manner. For this to happen, we need to bring on board partners with similar our Itatu approach to more universities, more private sectors, and finally also more development partners. The event this elsewhere to join hands with us and to make Itatu to deliver. I hope you have an interesting event, and I'm looking forward to Itatu contributing to the innovation of Kenya. Thank you very much.
Now I can go. Yes. So you've heard from my boss, Derek De Boer, who here but been very supportive in this. And indeed, we are trying to build innovation platforms all over the world. We have projects in Rwanda, we have projects in Ethiopia, Indonesia, so on. So this is part of MSM is doing. So happy to have been part of this. Thankful for the Ministry of Industry, Trade, in supporting this. So anyway, to go the first, let's go to the first slide. Yeah? So what is it about? Itatu is about, the problem is that there's need for lack some expertise in that, knowledge of high quality research, market validation processes, and also what you'd got, both building skills and also building productivity in times. We start thinking we want startups. Yeah, it's important. But more important is that if a company is already there, it has a business model. How do we grow it? If you think of Kenya, I don't think so. But if you think some company like Wipro in India is what, 60,000 employees. So it's possible. Companies can become that. And they become that by innovating. But how do they innovate? They innovate by doing R&D. But if you are an SME, you can't do R&D. Students gain skills as they solve problems of this. Yeah? Yeah. That, how do you differentiate? Let's move to Itatu. What is Itatu bringing to the table? I point it where? They can't move. We want also to be a fresh approach, open innovation. Open innovation is where you go and say, companies can innovate secretly with their R&D, but you can also say, the talent is out there. How do you put a problem there, let it be solved? And that's the trend towards the whole world is going. Even huge companies are utilizing open innovation. And the other approach is multidisciplinary. We want to have multidisciplinary students' teams working together. Yeah. Yeah, then you also want to bring industry experts, you also want to bring academics together. So part of it is also include all discipline areas. So it's not about ICT or it's about all universities. So it's a national platform. Yeah. Ben, so is it working now? Okay. As Demola was already our partner from Finland, we also have partnership together with other organizations in Europe and elsewhere. That's how Itatu is going to be a bit different from other platforms that you may have seen. So it's national, and then what is the value proposition? Link them to industry, get jobs, find new opportunities, new networks. As students work with each other, they also create networks. Yeah, students are able to participate even in. Can you solve their pain points? Can you bring innovative ideas to new markets? Yeah, can we help test off and spin off new ideas? So that's what we could want to say. This for you, this is what it means. This is how you prepared for that. Again, and actually a lot of challenges that we were doing was trying to help you see the ahead and try to see how do you prepare for that and how do you capture opportunities as they become available. Yeah, yeah, and also how do you start? Have problems, but some of these problems have been solved, but they are in somewhere in a library, in a university or somewhere. How do you cross skill gap? Because usually you don't have all. You can't teach everything because the curriculum is always those gaps. Yeah, support career development goals, build linkages, and as I say, so government obviously is keen on driving open innovation. Yeah, companies growing. Yeah, yeah, getting ready for some of their agenda and so on. So again, it's a three-pronged approach. On one hand, we want to run challenges. This is what we did here. So put a problem, put a group of students on it. For example, when we had our discussion with Mobius was said, we would want to see how to build. Can you make that as a thesis and tell a master student, whatever, come and work with us, but you do this as you. Or you go to the classroom and say, this is what the class project will be. This is a problem, it's in the section. People do research, and research has been done. There's tons of research in university. So one of the things is to do that matchmaking, would want to do that. Yeah? So I didn't turn this, sorry. How challenges, there are four types of challenges. You have what you call foresight challenges. Foresight challenges say, what is on the horizon? How can we prepare for it? Because now you oil to something else. We are moving to electric mobility, maybe hydrogen mobility. But how do you prepare that? How can you think through that? So some of the challenges was about that. Develop ideas about come out, because again, once you start exploring, it's mobility, but then you can also use it at home. People come up with ideas. Can you have hydrogen at home where you cook with it? You create water, because you know when you burn hydrogen, it's water basically. And then you can also fuel in your car. Yeah. So there are many ways that ideas can come, interesting ways. Yeah. Because you might find that a part of mobility or different ways of doing that. Yeah. Technology challenges, as I said, you know what technology is here. But what here we are fourth industrial revolution. But then we can be able to design a challenge and say, for you, this is how this challenge would work for you. So we can design a way to help you think through and start understanding. You can exploit this technology this way. Otherwise, okay, problem challenges, yeah, where obviously this is the way would be mangoes. They make mangoes, pulp, and they juice. But to export, you need to be able to trace it from where it came, because that's part of the sustainability. That's what the requirements of food markets. This is what was posed, and some students will come and say, this is how they try to solve the problem for mealy fruit. So these are pain points, your problem. Against that talent search, we talk of companies want talent. They want people who write very nice CVs. There are people who are experts. And you find them moving every 2 years, they move to you, because after 2 years, a new design, and that's where it's going now. Companies like Google and all, they don't even look at you. They don't care where degree you got. They just want, can you solve this problem? And that's where we are going to. Yeah, because now you design a problem and you put it on the platform, whoever solves it, get the job. So that is the approach. It's kind of a foresight and pain point challenges. And this is how the Itatu, and now we're in the process of how do we institutionalize. Yeah, so we have set up, so the platform is going. The skin, as Maitha has said here, how do we move it to where we can now say an independent platform that can run, and then have local international partners. We say that's also the other things that we have been doing and we are continuing to doing. Yeah, and then see how we can provide them good support. So on one hand, we work a problem-solving community that students and academic become the, yeah. We also want to see, obviously, localized challenges. Because we work the molar, but it's different. So we want to see how do we make RLC Foundation and Latia solutions. So those two approaches were used, but I think students like the idea. Some of you become free riders, and I think that has happened. We were all students at one time. Yeah. So if I think all of them got to learn new skills. Yeah. So those are the some that we have come up with a business plan for this Itatu. The idea is how do we spin it off? We have put the systems. How does he move it from the ministry, marketing, university innovation? Some of these I've mentioned. Try to see how we the business model that we have. I might not want to go too much into that. Student engagement, we still want to continue further engagement with companies that have already provided challenges. So you see Kenya Power, Mealy Fruit, subgroups, yeah. And so we continue. So this part of it is also to continuously engage students, because we want them to become felt like, okay, maybe this is what I thought it was. But there are students who say, lengthy process, obviously, challenges, yeah. Corporates, obviously, sometimes care about issues that we encountered, but mentors, again, sometimes dropping off. This one mostly to do with the international mentors and other. So phase one, we focus on building the model and try to have that one person will be talking here. There is an agri-tech challenge that will be find opportunities for them, yeah, continue further engagement. And also start seeing how we can bring called green mobility, circular migration with EU. That's something we are pursuing for now. Thank you so much. Yeah.
A round of applause. We have gotten this far because different communities have collaborated. And I think that's what. So, if I call out your university, young people, please. Okay. Remember we said we have 26 universities, 21 are local, and 5. Taita Taveta University. You see? A sound, all right? Mount Kenya University. They didn't come. Right here. Oh, all right. Jaramogi. Fantastic. Daystar University. I have to call that one. I went to Daystar. So that is all nepotism right there. Kirinyaga University. Oh, no. Excellent. Technical University of Kenya. Down the road. I saw a university. Now here is the statistic many of us don't know. Meru University sent the most students. Applause. And the difference between Meru and the others is they have a thriving students. We make or break how life treats us by how engaged we are. So the State Department industry, don't shoot me guys, please. Forgive me for saying of, for, right? In the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. What have we? He will tell us an interesting fact about himself as he proceeds today. Thank you, sir.
That's this abbreviation for the ministry. For solar lantern fishing in Lake Victoria. I'm also very happy. I'm involved in lithium ion, the safety. Actually, and whether Kenya is ready for it. Forex, teach you one or two things on how our economy is going. But my best we call talentpreneurship, which is Talent Entrepreneurship Hub International. We have both virtually and in-house. So I have to confess I was ambushed a little bit today in the morning, I think 30 minutes ago, that I have to come here, represent the PS, and give a written speech. And I didn't know whether it's Itatu or Itatu, but I'm very happy to. And actually, when I had the name students involved in creativity, innovation, elated. Now let me go to the speech. It is with great pride that I stand before you today to provide industry academy platform at Itatu. Since its launch, 1 year bridged the gap between industry and academia, fostering innovation and driving economic growth in Kenya. Through this platform, we aim to connect private sector with the talent and research capability of our esteemed higher education students. I'm delighted to report that Itatu facilitating 12 innovative ideas developed by students for 5 prominent Kenyan, namely Endless Africa, Mobius Motors, Kenya Power, Water Resource Center, and Mili Fruit Processors. These ideas have the potential to revolutionize. The success of Itatu is a testament to the collaborative effort across the country. Is it across the country or across the globe? Madam? Across the globe. Faced by our industry partners. One of the noteworthy achievements of Itatu, a path to entrepreneurship. Beyond that, students have been empowered as problem solvers by support of mentors. They not only got industry and a chance to become new entrepreneurs based on the experience gained and even intellectual property gathered in the process of solving the problems. By partnering with the companies, the students have tackled real-world problems across diverse range of sectors. fostering a ripple effect of progress. Take this opportunity to commend the unwavering support and collaboration of our industry partners, education. Ladies and gentlemen, Itatu has proven to be the much-needed industry-academia collaboration in Kenya. Students and corporate to overcome challenges, adopt emerging trends, and unlock new growth opportunities. That harness the power of collaboration between industry and academia. Thank you. That was written by the PS. And I can't add anything. Thank you.
And I think so it becomes the bridge to industry. So you saw that we have 5 corporates involved. We had worked with Mobius, we worked with LRC Foundation, Nimeshrab. There was Kenya Power, there was Millie Fruits, and there was? I was waiting for the guys of Endless Africa to say Nisisi. So what we want to do now is give a sample. So I will explain. We had 11 teams in the challenge. So of course we cannot have 11 presentations. So a few weeks ago, about a month and a bit ago, we had an opportunity for them to each pitch. And of the 11, 5 teams were picked. We have worked on them tirelessly and relentlessly. Some of them are tired of me. It was about learning new skills and becoming better people. So we've spent a lot to learn to shorten their pitches. So today, how many minutes do you guys have? Were able to move their pitches unexpectedly without warning from 10 to 7 minutes and from 7 minutes to 5 point a few seconds. Now, you will see me a lot, so let me give somebody else the chance to moderate the session. I would like to invite an ecosystem manager at Kiep, and this is her baby. And she loves this developed. Cecilia, please come up. All the way until she's on stage.
Is this? Anyway, good morning, everyone. My name is Cecilia. Industry Entrepreneurship Project, and I am the component lead. Component 1 is strengthening the innovation, which is my baby, as you've heard, and Itatu is part of the. It has been rightly put, it's been a journey. We started off a year ago, where I had mentioned to them their pain point. Then after that, they went into prototyping, and testing is the next phase. So we appreciate all the corporates that leap of faith to engage the students on their R&D. Then we also gave the students an opportunity to also interact with an international partner, Demola. So we also got the best practice model. We actually did an international benchmarking. What is this best out there that we can borrow and localize and come up with something for Kenya? And the next level. And the people in this room will take it to the next level. So, without going any further, I've seen Joe, I've seen Edna, awesome, good. We have so much effort that you have put, because today you've had even Viv is a better person. So we appreciate Itatu for that. The challenges.
Yes. So I am part of the team EcoGrid Connect, and our aim is to empower sustainability in the future through efficient energy management solutions. Our design thinking process was guided by a challenge that was given to us by Kenya Power, where we were supposed to make it a center of green and digital excellence. Kenya has made a great stride in energy management, but also it has faced a variety of problems that threaten its stability. These include unauthorized access, tampering of infrastructure, and also operational inefficiencies and many other more. So together with EcoGrid Connect, we came up with PowerGuard, Power to Power. This is an innovative ecosystem that, okay, next. Yes. Now I present to you PowerGuard, Power to Power, an innovative ecosystem that houses the following: biometric authentication and energy tamper detection. We have an energy management portal that will be used by the utility companies, and we are also providing electricity consumers with an energy management application, mobile application, like an app. I will go through the technical bit. The heart of this project is the SEP, the Smart Energy Pods, which houses the smart meters and the biometric authentication modules, and also the IoT devices. And then thereafter, we'll have biometric authentication for authoritarians of the energy infrastructure, and also those people who are going to use our mobile application. And also, we are going to have AI. Okay. We are going to have AI anomaly detection, and also we have an energy thief capture mechanism where anyone who is not authorized to use electricity will be cut off electricity, and their data will be sent to the system of the utility provider so that they can make a follow-up and follow up with the legal proceedings. Our unique value propositions include biometric authentication, where only authorized people are going to access the energy infrastructure. We also have advanced tamper detection, and we hope we'll able to notice tamper within 30 minutes after it has 30 seconds after it has occurred. We also have integration with smart meters, comprehensive security, and adaptability. For this model, it can be adapted to different types of renewable energy. So there's an increased demand in efficient energy management solutions. And the common trends in energy management include the integration of IoT and the use of smart grid technologies. And we're going to use smart meters and IoT sensors in this project. We target utility companies, renewable energy installers, also Kenya Power, and also those people who install renewable energy like solar panels in residential areas. So this is how we are going to generate revenue on subscription basis. After installing the product, the people will pay an yearly subscription to get an upgrade of the energy management portal and the user app. We also have consulting and training. We'll provide consulting to the companies that we are offering this solution, and we offer to train their workers at a small fee. The initial cost of installation will also bring revenue. We hope to partner with government and also receive subsidies on the same. This is a breakdown of the budget. On the software installation bit, the acquisition of hardware, and we estimated it to be about 3,800,000. What's the sustainable value of this project? We promote environmental sustainability because we are reducing wastages and also we are lowering carbon footprint. We also promote economic stability through job creation and also through generating revenue for ourselves, social stability through community engagement. In the mobile application, we have a hub section where every electricity user is able to engage with another, share information on green and digital transition. We also have operational sustainability, and which I mentioned that the project is absolutely scalable. We promote technological advancement because we are using smart technologies and IoT devices, and regulatory compliance and governance. So what are the next steps? So we hope to complete our prototype in the next 6 months. And for this prototype, we hope to achieve a 10% reduction in energy losses. We also hope to achieve about 95%. We hope to achieve about 95% of biometric authentication in the system. And also, we hope to be able to detect tamper within 30 seconds on its occurrence. This is only for the prototype. So what are the risks that we may incur? We have technical risks on the software development bit and the integration of the system with the existing grid. We have cybersecurity risk, financial risk, user acceptance risks, and environmental risks. For this risk, we hope to combat them through risk mitigation, risk transfer. For instance, the finances, we can use, transfer them to the third party. For instance, we can ask for finance from donors. We can also transfer cybersecurity risk to cybersecurity companies that have a legal framework of working on the same. So this is my team. I am Vivian Alichula. We have David Gitau, Catherine Imali, Gateri Joseph. We also have Isaac and Emmanuel Naftali. Thank you. Join us in this sustainable future with green and digital transition.
Thank you very much, Vivian, and we definitely wish you all the best as you meet the Kenya Power team when you're having the roundtable with the data management team. We look forward to the success story. The next team is transforming the dairy sector through micro dairies, and this challenge was posed by the Endless Africa. Let's clap for the team that comes.
Good morning. I'm Grace Wanjiro from Egerton University, and with me is
Edwin Murimi from Kenyatta University.
All right, we are from the micro dairies team, and we're seeking to transform the dairy sector through use of micro dairies. Micro dairies, as the dairy industry as a whole contributes to 14% of the Kenya's GDP. And out of this 14%, 56% is from the micro dairies. It is a disruptive economy, and that's why we want to emphasize more on the transformation of the sector. All right, so we are the Dairy Dyer. We are a Kenyan-based dairy consultancy startup that offers sustainable dairy practices by utilization of local resources and intensive farmer trainings. Sorry. So what are the problems currently as they stand? Some of you will remember of my short story of Uncle Gerald, but I'll not get back to that. Middlemen. Let's look at long supply chains. As said, we have, from the production stage, milk undergoes a very long, we have the brokers, we have the intermediate, we have very long supply chains. Then we have low technology use. Adaptation is still at its early stages, the pioneer stages. Less diversified products as well, and low animal welfare sensitization and knowledge to the farmers as well. Let's look at what we're going to offer. I said we are a consultancy, the Dairy Dialogue. So we have the consultancy bit, and this is where we're coming in giving knowledge to farmers on what they're supposed to do. As it stands, we said dairy, when you go to a dairy setup right now, you're just told your milk is not okay, just go home. No one walks you future. We also have the bit on the trainings. This is now when we take doing, how can you feed your animal to get more products? And then
So for the target market, we target small-scale dairy farmers. These are farmers in the corporate, the Gen Z generation, education institutions, as Endless Africa mentioned, where we want to use academia to build our capacity, and the local agricultural communities. They register through our website. Our registration must be members to use our services. So we have clientele, and we offer micro dairy trainings from basic.
we have different packages given that our customers are, well, we're targeting small-scale dairy farmers, as a micro dairy is a setup that has about 3 to 10 30. So we have different packages to cater for all these customers. We have a basic package. As he talked of cooperatives, right now it would be the best entry point where when you get into a cooperative, supposing they buy your idea, they'd want to know how to set up one. And that is now where you come in and advise you rightly on what you should do, what it should be like, what standards you're supposed to meet, because you're dealing with edible food stuff. We have a standard package for those who are up and running. Maybe they're down from the setup. They now want, should we talk of herd management? They want to know how can you synchronize all the ISTRA synchronization. How do I have all my management practices done at a single time? Like the ISTRA synchronization, sorry. We have also a premium package for those who are down into technology, and they'd want things like, monitoring their animals through use of microchips, dairy boarding, and such like. That is for those who with a bigger package. So what are our key differentiators?
As I said, members only, where we deal with our only registered members. Optimize service delivery through website, social media, cooperative, and B2C model. Diversification of the products, where we help our farmers to produce more products rather than milk alone. High-tech solutions, where in case there's contamination in milk, the farmer can trace back where the milk is coming from. We have great trainers. We are great trainers. We are scholars, and we are trained. We're also in our website, we'll have a rating system where farmers will rate us best to what we are offering. Our future plans is expansion to other counties. First of all, we are targeting 10 counties which have high milk production in the country based on data. We want to process and sell milk on-site, B2B, business to business, raw milk selling, ATM points, and finally in future we can have a dairy board. So the best case scenario, where we'll start with the basic package, which will be 15,000. We register around 50 farmers in 10 counties. We generate about 7.5 million revenue. And best case scenario is to be a leading consultancy with over 10 million revenue.
Right, and in this, we're going to have attain the Sustainable Development Goals. We have no poverty, zero hunger, climate action, and industry innovation and infrastructure. This great work, this transformative journey has been attained by a team of 6. I'm Grace, he's Edwin, there is Collins, we have Lucy, and in absentia, we have Sharon and Eric. So thank you so much for listening to us.
Just before you leave, thank you, Grace and Edwin. I was honored to be part of the team that was in the pitching competition where you mentioned about Uncle Gerald. And Uncle Gerald, I think, is your client now, right? And coming up with this solution, you know, we do not have to go too far to look for solutions. She saw a problem, and she decided to come up with a business case out of it. And these guys are ready to take off. Maybe you should give the audience your website, their URL. They just have a look. They are ready for funding and taking off. Just narrate their URL. Dr. Rono here can, from UNESCO can probably put some funding in there for you. But trust me, the team is ready to take off. They have put their structures in place, their marketing collaterals, they are ready to go. So just give us your website.
All right, I think maybe I sent the link.
Just mention it. Do you have it in your head?
dairydeer.com.
Dairydeer.com. Just spell it. Dairy, D-I-A, right?
Yeah.
dairydia.com. Just have a look at what they have done. I think when I was a student, I was not at that point, but these guys are good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are continuing to develop the website, so it's undergoing some
So
changes.
it's not up right now?
It's been up for the last 1 week, but right now we're doing changes.
Good. Okay. You can, just share the link. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Grace and Edwin. So up next, kindly, let's clap for them, please. Up next, we have the Sustainable Mangoes Traceability. The challenge was posed by Millie Fruits. So the team, kindly, let's clap as they come through. And we request you kindly keep it to the 5 minutes. We have quite a program.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Vena Prudence from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University.
I'm Francis Wainaina from Mary University.
Okay. Welcome to Towards Sustainable Mango presentation. So our client, Millie Fruits, presented us with the challenge of solving the traceability of mangoes right from the orchards where they're grown to the consumer's plate, and how to reduce waste management, which is 50% in the company. As a result, we came up with the M-Trace system to solve the solution, to solve the challenge. So let me take you through how it works. Okay, in your screens, you can see you enter the unique details from the farm into the database system. From there, there's an assignment of the unique identifier codes and the QR codes. So as you can see, the L008C represents the location. The 2008 represents the year of cultivation. From there, there's the year of harvesting. Then the truck it was transported by, TR truck 18. Then from there, there's the collection center and the batch number 2044. There's the product code, PJ. J represents the juice in this case, and the 2024 is the processing year. So from there, we have access to the online website whereby you get all the details concerning the product we have, so you are able to trace it. Just to wind up on how it works, the mango waste, it's converted into organic fertilizers and biogas. So the app is already there. From the bottom of the slide, you can be able to see the website. If you log in, you'll get a sample of what we have worked on.
Okay, thank you. So we developed a business model. So in this business model, the key partners in development of this M3 system, we need technology providers, the farmers, and the retailers who are going to use this M3 system. The key activities that we are going to partake in this system is developing and maintenance of a database system, partnering with farmers, and also marketing and promoting this traceability system. The value proposition the M3 system is going to bring to the meal fruits company: transparency, traceability, quality assurance, and also sustainability. The revenue streams the M3 system will bring to the meal fruits company: the farmers who subscribe to this system are going to pay a subscription fee, licensing of the traceability system, and also extra income for the meal fruits company as we utilize the waste management. So coming up with the value addition. So the key resources to use in implementation of the system: software developers and marketing and the sales team. So the market opportunity the system will bring is consumer confidence, as consumers or the users of this system have ability to trace the value, the journey that the mango has underwent, right from the farm until the product they have received. The market trends, incorporation of the technology, gives the meal fruits company an upper hand in the market. So the value addition, by utilization of the waste products from the skin of the mangoes and the seeds. So there is reduced waste. So we are going to convert the waste from the, we can make biogas and also some compost. So the competitive advantage, so diverse revenue streams, building of the customer trust, and also positioning the company as the market leader in the mango industry. So the benefits of the meal fruits of this M3 system: quality assurance, as there is the ability to trace the value of the journey the mango has underwent, right from the farm until it is processed. Environmental conservation, through the use of the waste products from the mango to make the biogas and the compost. So there is the M3 system. The M3 system has digital risk and mitigation measures. So we are going to ensure there is data security by data encryption, data accuracy by regular audit. So the impact the M3 system will bring economic advantage to the meal fruits company, environmental advantage, and also it will set the company apart from other companies. So this is the team: Francis Wenaina, Jacqueline, and Sarah from Mary University, doing clinical medicine and community health. Denver, Kurecho, and Vena Prudence from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So we are in connection with the technical team from the meal fruits company. So as we continue and plan how to implement our challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We look forward to the next success story where we see commercialization of this or just putting this prototype into use. Thank you very much. So the next team is for telephone farming. How many people are farmers here? How many people are telephone farmers here? Telephone farmers, unapiga simu, hizo viazi zimefika wapi? Vitungu, unaambiwa nini, but you go on the ground, things are different. Yeah? So this next team is coming to solve that. And the telephone farming challenge was posed by LRC. Let's hear how we can solve this problem. Thanks.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Benta Wairemo from Meru University of Science and Technology, and I'm representing FarmTech App opportunities in Kenya, a program given by Racha Resource Center, and representing a team of 6 university students from Meru University, Egerton University, and Masinde Morelo University. So, who is a telephone farmer? And I know in the room most of us are telephone farmers or have engaged in farming before. So a telephone farmer is someone who has a farm or is having an agricultural business in the rural area but is in the urban area.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give you a real life story. It was around July last year when I went to Mau, and I have a cousin in Mombasa. So my cousin is his favorite meat is arrowroots. Imagine she told me that she is purchasing 1 kg of arrowroot at 150, and at the same time while we were chatting with her, I was in Mau. The same arrowroots. The farmers in Mau they were encountering a loss. There were a lot of Irish potatoes rotting the farm. There's lack of market. There's lack of information where to find the market, and that's the main thing that motivated me to maybe to be part of this challenge, to maybe at least come up with a solution. There is fear for lack of market. There is lack of information and skills. There is also lack of monitoring, and also there is a lot of trust issues with this recent generation, and that's the main thing that made us invest a lot of time in this solution. So this is our mobile app. This is our mobile app solution. Our target market are the people from diaspora, the busy working class, the retirees, and also the Gen Z generation. Okay, we focus on this this target market, the target group, because you find out that most of the people, they want to do farming, but they have no knowledge, or they have retired from other field of work, but at least they have no background information on agriculture. But we all know that agriculture is the background. We know that agriculture is the background of our economy, but not everyone is taking part in agriculture. And that's the reason as to why we majored in this FarmTech app, this telephone farming, to aid at least to make agriculture accessible and practiced by all of us. And that's the reason, and that's the motivation as to why we did the FarmTech app. Thank you.
Okay, so basically you may be asking why FarmTech app. FarmTech app is acting as a central application connecting all stakeholders in the agricultural industry. Growing up with the upcoming of Uber app, it has eased the transportation system, and maybe we also have Uber Bites. why not have Uber for farmers, where they can order some products or services? You as a telephone farmer, maybe you're working in an accounting firm or even in an organization. You don't have all the time to spend in the farm. But maybe you don't have even the knowledge. But in this app, you can be able to be connected to a service provider who is at your doorstep, and you receive all the services that are being required in your farm. May it be financial services, may it be cultivation services, and everything will be okay for you. So this is how the app works. You need to register, and then you'll track your orders. You'll be able to monitor them. Yeah. So thank you. You can reach us out. That is my number there if you want to know more about Farm Tech app. And that is our Gmail. You can contact us. Thank you.
Joe, did you harass the Benta here? She said bye-bye too fast. Just when you're enjoying the telephone farming story, it's done. Okay, yeah. So the team, I mean, there's that generation of us who we want to farm, but yes, we really don't want to get into the nitty-gritty. So this company is actually coming to bring all the value chain actors together, and you do farming from the comfort, and that is now innovation, doing farming in convenience. At your convenience. So the next team is Green Mobility, Hydro Buddy, and this challenge was posed by Mobius Motors. Hydro Buddy team. I'm not seeing her. Where is she? Hydro Buddy. Maybe if she's not ready, Dominic Carter from Giotto, if you're here. She's around? She's there? Dominic is ready. We can go to the Dominic one. Yes? Dominic Carter from Giotto. This is the incubator, and this is a student-led innovation challenge. And they had backing from GDC, so you were able to start it off at that time, right? GDC, we were working with the GDC, right? Community, yeah. So you can just tell us your story. Oh, she's here, Hydro Buddy, awesome. Is Giotto, 2 minutes for Dominic Carter. Do you have Giotto presentation there? No, you'll just speak, okay. You just tell us about Giotto and then Hydro Buddy can come.
Okay, so is it still morning? Good morning, everyone. My name is Dominic. I'm the CEO of BNB Electrics. It's a startup that we formed that was inspired by Itatu. So we brought together different students from different universities, different disciplines. For us, we were looking at how we can create communities of innovators. And one of the things that came out was an expedition to a community in Nakuru, somewhere in Gilgil, a place called Eburu. So we realized that the community has a lot of geothermal energy, but they were not harnessing it. Like they only condense the steam and use it for water. They don't have rivers, they don't have anything. So for us, we were looking at how can we extract this heat energy. And something that came out of it was, most of us are familiar with, rearing chicken, poultry. So we were looking at it as a low-hanging fruit. So we came together as different students, different innovators. We were hosted by the community. We came up with the innovation. That was like last year. And Itatu played a very big role in that project because they facilitated most of it. They funded most of the implementation. And as we speak, we have the first product there. So one of the community members, they are using the product. And right now we are focusing on more R&D to just fine-tune the technology. So we came up with Giotto. Giotto is an ecosystem that leverages on geothermal. So we are looking at how we can use geothermal energy in different value chains like poultry, drying, hopefully even in hydrogen production. leveraging on the networks that we've built. So we've partnered with the community, that is Eburu Cooperative Society. They have given us access to their land, which has a lot of geothermal. Like there's a land that we, through a partnership with the Hudson Drilling, there's a land like 2 acres that has 2 geothermal wells. So we are using that land for testing out different ideas. We are working with the community, like Mr. Lucas. And then this year, we actually have exciting opportunities for this startup. Our abstract was accepted to NMMF Sensor Convergence next month. We are supposed to go to South Africa for a conference to present the technology. Also, through the partnership with Hudson Drilling, we have a conference in Tanzania, also in November. And also the same next month, I'm supposed to go to also South Africa for a fellowship that we were accepted with that idea. And we have a lot of exciting opportunities in this prospect. And our submission is maybe to just inspire students and also to give tribute to Itatu on the support that they have been giving us. And also to all of you, our call to action is how we can leverage on geothermal, because geothermal is renewable, it's 24/7, it's clean, and we can actually use it in so many value chains. Thank you. You can pass by our booth and we'll share more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. All the best in next endeavors. So students feel motivated. Dominic started from where you are, and right now you can see he's just speaking. South Africa, where else? So he's just moving, but great job, and we appreciate Itatu for opening these doors for you. So we have the Green Mobility team. She's disappeared again? Oh, good. The Green Mobility team, and the challenge was posed by Mobius. Karibu.
Good morning. I'm Maria Mwangeshi. I am a graduate architect from Kenyatta University. Together with my teammate, let her introduce herself.
My name is Sharon Kiplagat from Daystar University.
We shall be presenting Hydrobody by Team 2. So essentially, our tagline is "Together we drive change." Next. Essentially, the problem we are tackling is the fact that there's a lot of vehicles, as we can see, a lot of congestion on the roads, and most vehicles are powered by fossil fuels. So this is leading to emissions, which are then leading to a lot of carbon footprint, and climate change crisis effects are visibly seen nowadays. So Mobius, our client, went further to provide a solution through hydrogen cars, but the problem is there's still a very small fraction on the road, and we brainstormed and saw that there's an issue with market acceptance. It's a new technology, so most people are really not ready to adopt it, and therefore we decided to do something about that in partnership with Mobius. So the background really is, the challenge was oil to green mobility. And green mobility, nowadays, we think of electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles. So we looked at the two and saw electric vehicles, the power production might bring some inefficiency, charging stations are a bit limited, but with hydrogen vehicles, Kenya has a high potential, like Dominic was talking about geothermal potential, so it will be easy to produce the fuel. There's portability potential also, and there's existing car stock. The cars right now can easily be transitioned to hydrogen-powered. Next. So our task essentially was to help Mobius lead the revolution from oil to hydrogen fuel. And essentially, metaphorically, we are creating a solution that is like a car where we are driving towards the change to create an impact in the African market, because that is the main target market of Mobius. So next, our solution is HydroBuddy, which is a smartphone app. Essentially, what it does, it creates a system where the users are kind of like friends. They help each other through the user journey of using hydrogen vehicles. And our core message was how it takes a village to raise a child. So essentially, we are bringing in all stakeholders to help us with this revolution. And also, we are working together. For example, the users are working together to make it easy for them. Next. So we are bringing in technology innovators, social innovators, business model innovators, and policy innovators in this platform to discuss on ways to make it better. Yes, essentially the transformation cannot work if they don't work together. So the next, we've developed a sort of prototype where, for example, the users can be connected, let's say through a mini Twitter, where they update each other on where they are. Next, maybe new information, or where you can get spare parts to use with the vehicles. And we did a small, next, market research just by talking to people. And we realized that such an application can actually drive up the adoption of hydrogen vehicles in Kenya and Africa, essentially. So the stakeholders are, for example, the Matatu owner circles, the public sectors. So we are bringing them all together. Yes. So our unique value proposition is, while we are doing all this, we are also going to strengthen our community ties. We know in Africa that is very important. People essentially adopt something that their fellow Africans or their fellow friends are using. So we believe this is a unique way of tackling the issue. So our call to action is we are open to getting more resources, partnering with more players in the sector to enrich the knowledge you already know. Our timeline is as demonstrated, and the team, you can see us, yeah? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mariam. We are definitely in times where we are looking at leveraging on innovation and technology to come up with more environmental friendly products. So in this space on mobility, we are looking at more e-mobility. We've seen a lot of electric vehicles. Now we are looking into hydrogen, so that at least we can have a better environment. We have come to the end of the five innovation challenges that were run, the teams that ran the Itatu challenges, but there's so much more out there. So outside the room, there are exhibition panels where the students can give you more insights on what they did. You can have further interactions with them. And I'm being generous because I want to give you a 5-minute break. You go for tea. And we'd like to request you can take your tea and come back to the room, and then we can proceed from there. So while you're doing that, kindly just take a look at the exhibitions out there, interact with the students, and get to hear more about the experience from Itatu. Otherwise, from me, it's thank you very much for being an amazing audience. And also, we should appreciate another round to the students and to the mentors who have put so much work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cecilia. As she has said, we have a quick break. We do have a couple of other things we want to do once we are back. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, do a quick loop at the exhibitions, but they'll be there, so you can do that also again at the end, and come back in with your tea and coffee. We have stuff we want to discuss and engage in and learn more, and we do want to keep time. So grab your coffee, grab your tea. There are 2 stations outside, 1 station through that left door, 1 station through this door, and let's be back in, okay, let me be nice. Let's be back in 10 minutes. So at 5 to 12, can we come back? Then we do the rest and we go for lunch.
come to smoke cannabis. Doctor say make a pop one of this. Make me fly like say I'm Aladdin. Come bring some kind melodies. Oh, mama, myself no do pass like this. So many things inside of my jeans. I slide down DBTs, DBTs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to restart. I encourage you to come in with your cup of tea. All right, so I trust we had a good refresh break. The cup of tea worked. There's some protein in your system. So I'd like us to pick up. And what we did so far, we have introduced the program, we have showcased the students. Now we want to have a conversation with some of our corporate partners. As we mentioned earlier, we had 5 of them, but today we only have 2 in the house. But I won't be doing that part. I'll hand that part to Joe Mukoko. Joe Mukoko is one of the mentors in the Itatu program, but he's also co-founder of the Africa MSME Collective, as well as he's a business development and sales expert. So Joe, I'll ask you to come up and then you can introduce your panel. And we could probably have the music in the house turned off. Thank you very much. So this panel will be showcasing what Itatu has accomplished from this aspect or the perspective of the corporate partners. Joe, over to you.
Thank you, Chesubire. A round of applause to our very able MC. I know we have just had some tea. For those who know me, I like doing exercises, so I would ask you to stand for just 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Elbow your neighbor and ask them, how is the day going? And then ask them what they have learned so far. Good. As you see, there are very many stories when you're asked how the day is going. So I would like you to, I was not blessed with height, I was blessed with other things. I would ask you to raise your left hand as high as you can. And then right hand as high as you can. Then both hands, then stretch them forward. Call the rain, call the rain, call the rain. Fantastic, thank you. The tea is going down. You may have your seats. As I call on stage my 2 panelists, I would like to, I don't know if the representatives from the other companies are there. Is there anyone from LRC Foundation? LRC? Kenya Power? The last time they were there? Okay. Millie Fruits, I know we chatted with him a while back, he's not there. I would like us to give a round of applause to these companies, even as I bring on stage my panelists in a special way. Let me put this on. Hold. I'm a teacher. So this is what I want you to do. Your hands up. Nikisema umeme, we do a 3 factorial, and this is how we do a 3 factorial. So nikisema umeme, tunafanya 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Sawa sawa. Haya, twende. Umeme, twende. Faster. Hey, tumekula. We are happy. Okay, umeme. Thank you very much. I want the sugar to go down so that you can be ready for lunch. When the students were presenting about Itatu, Kenya is a signatory to the SDGs, and some of the things that came forward were SDG number 8 on economic growth and decent jobs, where we enhance skills, sustainability and responsible consumption, SDG number 11 and 12, affordable and clean energy, SDG number 7, partnerships, SDG number 17, industry, innovation and infrastructure, SDG number 9. So Itatu has ticked those boxes. The PS, in his remarks, said there is much needed collaboration between academia and industry. I am going to invite on stage John Kavila from Mobius Motors and Anthony Wahome, Endless Africa. Tuwapigie makofi mpaka waketi chini. And for those who have undergone my, please take your seats in the middle. For those who have undergone mentorship through me, allow me to tell you, I call Anthony my grandfather in business, because when I quit my job to go into business, I went through his class on responsible business behaviors. I will not disclose my age. Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, John, for joining us this afternoon. The Itatu project was looking at disruption, sustainability, innovative business models, future-looking solutions, collaboration, and partnerships. Thank you for having made time to work with the students, the academia, and the mentors throughout the process. And I'll start with you, John. Introduce yourself, and then let us know what inspired you to support the students.
Thank you for the opportunity, and really happy to be here. John Kavila Kwinga, I'm the technical director at Mobius Motors. Mobius Motors is a local company that is looking to change the narrative when it comes to mobility within Kenya, the region, and in Africa by designing, developing, and manufacturing local vehicles that provide mobility solutions that meets the needs of the market where we are. I think for me, the connection with academia is a passion for me. And I've seen the ability for companies and students to extremely grow when academia and industry work together, are connected together in solving the problems around you. And one of the things that, why also, I've 20 years plus of background in research and in development. And I've always enjoyed the idea of trying to solve problems that are unknown. Give me something, just say I want to do something, and I love getting into that unknown. And I'm always of the opinion, unless we change that narrative of we are the ones who dive into that particular problem, then we are going to get what we've always gotten. Somebody else figures it for us and has not really accounted for what we want to do. And so this opportunity about working with a platform that encourages innovation, that encourages the linkage between academia and industry, that encourages us to try and come up with solutions for our problem, it rings to the core of me. It's a personal enjoyment that I have in it, and that's why not just this particular platform, but for the last 10 years I've been at Mobius, I've tried to engage with different organizations. And this is the first time I've seen something that really brings it in such a coordinated manner. And so that really excites me. So I think in the end, to summarize that, it comes maybe from a personal passion of being able to solve our problems and change that narrative here locally in Kenya.
Thank you very much. To change the narrative. And that is why I bring on board Anthony. Anthony, for the last, it's almost 30 years, you've been running businesses. What inspired you to work with startups, with these students? As you tell us a bit about what you do, I know you do a lot, a bit of what you do.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and excited about the Itatu challenge and thinking behind disruption through research and knowledge. I'm a serial investor, so I take interest in growing sectors, but all of them on the platform of disruption and change. For that to happen, the key ingredient is mindset transformation. You're a product of how you think, and for me to know where you're headed and how you'll get there. I just need to track how you think and how you position and place value on knowledge. So bearing in mind that transformation is by the renewing of your mind. The more you can avail your mind to acquire new knowledge and to think deeply, then you can be able to bring transformation to yourself and to the sectors and areas around you. I'd like to say this to many of you who are stepping up and now aspiring, and even to us who have been there. There is no challenge without a solution. There's a solution to everything. And the solutions are embedded in knowledge. And the day you get knowledge, you then master the challenges that seemingly are facing you. So instead of whining and complaining, all you need to do is embed knowledge gathering, and you will quickly realize that there is no essence in life that you cannot solve. So the attraction to Itatu was because we appreciate that knowledge and research is what drives change. Many organizations that are leading today have serious budgets towards research and innovation. In 2019, I was privileged to visit Brazil on the agricultural front, and they have a government research entity called Embrapa, and they put in $1 billion a year into research, just gathering information. And that information begins to drive the change that you require. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're excited to partner with Itatu, because Itatu principally is a platform that embodies research through the challenge that have been presented here, and resultantly take that research into commercialization and then into business and development. And when we then partner with the likes of Itatu as the business, our role is to embed the findings and then commercialize them into practical results for change.
Thank you very much. You have both alluded to knowledge, research, design, innovation. And John, I'll pose this question to you. What was the experience? You love designing, you love innovating, and then you have to work with students. They are much younger than us, and you have to guide them through the process. Thank you for always being available when they needed to have questions answered. What was the experience? What was your experience?
He's been called like 3 times about this microphone.
Thank you. So I think for me the experience was really positive in the sense that the students have such an energy and passion to learn, to listen. So as they're listening, they are learning, and it's not that I am not also learning. And so the ones who really engaged with this process really then materialized in even how they ended up developing their final presentations and maturity of the solutions. And so what I really loved is the very positive engagement of the students. They are eager to learn. They are eager to listen. They are eager to question. And that interaction provided a very healthy environment for both of us to learn. I take the example of HydroBuddy and the team that presented it. So you might have thought, we present a challenge, it's on green mobility. So who will you typically think in university might jump into that particular challenge? Somebody in engineering, the sciences or something. Look, an architect presented to us. Is that not what this is about? Sparking that innovation, no matter who you are, and driving that ideation to the next level. That's what I loved about this particular process.
Thank you, John. Sparking innovation. Anthony, your team was heavily involved in what was going on, and at some point, one of your representatives took copious amounts of notes during the presentations that had technology in them. What have been your key learnings as Endless Africa through this process?
So the challenge from Endless Africa was around the dairy value chain. And dairy is one of the sectors that we focus on. Our principal role being disrupting value chains and pushing agriculture to become profitable, adaptable, and scalable. We had two groups that presented. One focused on the platform in relation to extension services and how you can dial for solutions in the whole dairy engagement, be it artificial insemination, be it feeds, be it calves and the whole process. The other team spent time to look at the concept of micro dairy in relation to moving the processing from urban centers like you have today, where people haul milk all the way from Rift Valley and Kisumu to Nairobi to process and haul it back to sell it. It's sheer madness. And the missing gap is that if we had localized micro dairies that are centers where you're ruminant, so it's designed to eat grass, not to eat maize. But in this country, the human beings, and that's why it's expensive, and we cannot be competitive. Some of you will click the joke in your bathrooms tomorrow morning. It's not normal. In other countries, they grow yellow maize because it's cheaper. And it will boil down to the cost of production. If you listen to the president's address on the 1st of June, the target now to produce milk is going to be 10 billion liters. We are currently just shy of 3 billion at 2.5 billion. And there's a whole road to go, but remember that the documented demand in this country is 5 billion. Therefore, there's a shortfall already of 2.5 billion. And the stretch is another 5 billion. So it tells you as an investor that the growth is going to be export-driven, where we process the milk, do powdered milk, and supply the region. For us to be relevant, cost then becomes a key driver. For you to drive costs, you've got to substitute and understand what are the key things that drive for the cost of dairy. And one of them is food. 70% of the cost of dairy is related to food. And 70% of that food is a choice of what we have traditionally used, which is maize meal. So our endeavor has been to drive grasses, and forages is the king. We're looking at Lucerne, we're looking at Bomaros grass, and we are producing milk today at almost 60% of the market in the present day. They came and told me we need to design marketing endeavors, and I said, the day you crack price, you don't need to market. You'll sit in your village and they will come and pay you the price. That's the disruption. So this team was able to demonstrate that we can change this cost regime where people are hauling products to a central processing and customize them in the region. So ideas around solar for energy, ideas around biogas, which is converting waste from the cows into production for cooking. And those centers can even do community cooking. So you can all bring your githeri on a certain day, and we can cook githeri for the community using cheap energy. And then have collective cooling stations where you don't need to go far away. You can come and work from that center. The youth can then be engaged in milk collection. The women can be engaged in processing yogurt and in all those things. So we're looking at embedding those solutions in the disruption, managing cost, and being competitive roundabout. And that's what the team was doing. The key areas we contributed in the thought process were areas of depth and context. Some of the presentations needed to go deeper into practical thinking. What do you mean, and what are you trying to communicate? Can you move from just telling us that they will use solar and get to where the real costs are? How do you grow depth? I had an Indian guy visit me over 12 years ago in my office, and his first statement was as follows. He said, every mineral that is precious is a function of depth. And a lot of people don't think deep, they think broad. So people have ideas, but very few people specialize in depth. So we challenge them on the aspects of depth. And then the second aspect was challenging them on the aspect of context. Can you contextualize your conversation to the need on the table? And I believe we will now be offering the teams that worked with us opportunity to come and practically see what the real world looks like. So we've invited them to 2 of the cooperatives we are working with. In the last 9 months, we have doubled milk in the Meru region from 300,000 liters a day to 600,000 liters a day. It's documented. The president has visited to see. He's going to be in Meru again on the 14th, which is next Saturday, and we are part of that program. Then the second thing we have done is then track cost and profitability. So those are key things. We don't just want to increase the milk, but we want to make sure that it is cost effective, because if we can lower cost, then a lot more people can drink more milk. So challenging the team to now move to practicability, and we are excited that these teams will form our thinking panel, and then we provide the opportunity for them to now practically demonstrate the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I saw Grace smiling when you were saying you'll work with them, and you've said there is a shortage of 5 billion liters. So we look forward to all benefiting from Dairy Deer, because we were in the room when the investment was made. So remember us as shareholders. Thank you, Grace. Design thinking has helped the young people to express their passion and change their mindsets so that they can be able to get solutions that will help society. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this afternoon. I would like you to give us your parting shots. And John, I would like you to address what would be your word of advice to other industry players. And Anthony, you are a firm believer in continuous learning. What is your word of advice to academia, even as we look for solutions?
So, you know, we're a business. Ultimately, what we will do is to make money. And sometimes when we look at the opportunity to explore new ideas, the resources can be sometimes a challenge. And so, on the other hand, you have students looking to work on real-world problems, contextualize what it is that they're doing. We have an internship program, and one of the things that I always love about it is when students finish, they always like, thank you for that time I spent with you. Somebody who was doing maybe electrical engineering comes and sees, this is what a vehicle harness is. They really didn't understand it. They didn't know how to design it, how to draw it, how to put it into the vehicle. And so what this then does, what Itatu does here, is bring that linkage a little bit more closer. We have access to great minds, young, potential, innovative people who, with the right guidance, can really help you as a company to take some of the research and innovation that you might be looking for. And this is the thing, we need to do more. We might research things, but a lot of papers are written. I've been to enough universities and tell me we have many papers, and they're sitting. They were all for various master's programs, but they never went anywhere beyond that. This allows that research that you as a company might need to do, actually engage with then people who are innovative, are young, they are looking for a way to actually link with a real world problem. And as a business, affordably. My colleague here talked about cost. You know, everything coming back down to the profit, how much does this cost? So we are sitting there, we want to try and innovate. How can we do this? And this is why I love what Itatu could bring. At that early exploratory stage, the ability to be able to do that. So as a business, this is a way for you to start being innovative, start changing that narrative, stop waiting for somebody else to figure it or say, I don't have money. You can tap into this amazing resource that exists. You as students have the ability to start bringing into context some of the issues that you're really working on and solving problems on your own in the sense that, again, you're driving that particular change. And so I mentioned it earlier before, we keep saying we need jobs, and as I reflected on what this Itatu platform does, it truly gives you an opportunity to make those jobs. Through that innovation, we talked about businesses that have spawned out of ideas and challenges. One of the other young men here talked about how they're progressing. He's now traveling all the world. It started here. So a lot great of opportunity exists for both US students and us as industry, and really look forward to the continued maturity of this platform.
Thank you very much, John.
My parting shot is linked to where we started. Transformation is by the renewing of your mind. The difference here, the opportunity we have, is that we have to progress from knowledge to applied knowledge. Knowledge that is not applied is not going to be helpful, only applied knowledge. And what I like around the Itatu Forum, it talks about ideating, which is the idea generation, innovating, how do you further move the idea to possible solutions, and then implementation. And that's where the application comes in. My challenge to all of us is everything is hidden in knowledge. There is no issue that is not solvable if you get knowledge. The problem is we don't pay the price to get knowledge. You cannot be at every forum. You cannot be at every joint. The people that separate themselves then become sought after. And I can tell you, you don't need even to be in Nairobi. If you have the right idea and you're sitting in Marsabit, people will come for the right idea. So let's move our ideation higher, let's innovate further, and let's seek to apply so that we cause the disruption and the change that is sought after. So congratulations to Itatu and the co-sponsors of the forum. And to you students, well done, but there is room to do more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the panel. Itatu is about disruption, sustainability, innovative business model, future looking to get solutions, collaboration, and partnerships. Let's have another round of applause to these captains of industry, John Kavila and Anthony Wahome. Thank you.
Did we learn something? My takeout is we must move from knowledge to applied knowledge because there's nothing beyond knowledge. As we move on, I would like to invite Dr. Gatune to give us a short presentation about industry and academia partnerships and the value of it. And then we'll have another short conversation with a few other players in the sector. Why are we doing this? Students, when we expose you to things like this, it's for you to understand what you have done is part of a value chain. It's part of an ecosystem. So you can make the choice to be in that particular corner, or you can expand who you are. I think I have seen places for expansion for myself. Daktari, please come. A round of applause until he gets there. He's not used to being applauded, so I'm trying to make it that he gets used to it.
Anything. Just to say, yes, we have gone through this journey. Other people have also done it because the idea is how do we create an ideal model to drive industry-academia partnership for Kenyan context, because everybody does it in their own way. So Itatu was one way, and we have learned lessons. But other people have also done their ways, and they have learned lessons. And then also, there are also other people in this room who have also been doing this in one way or another. So the idea is just say, can we start this discussion? How do we move towards that, an ideal model for Kenya? So really, I'm going to give a reflection on what we saw from Itatu, and also there's also another program that was called ICT for Development, which was done by ACT also, and my colleague, my compatriot, also did this. And the idea is contrast the two approaches, what they learned, and then bring also other people, because a lot of people have also been doing, so that then we can start this discussion of how do we go about improving this model. And again, it's all about collaboration. So I'm not sure whether the presentation is up there, but there should have been a presentation. But anyway, so what was the motivation for this industry academic platform, the one we did in Kenya? It was about to drive innovation and improve productivity. It was a student-centric, open innovation platform, so the student was, and it's open innovation, and also problems solicited from, so problems solicited from companies and teams, I think we have mentioned this, and then foresight, basically, a lot of focus was on what you call looking at the horizon and trying to see what is out there. Then the other one, which is called, it was Building Institutional Capacity Research in Kenya project. Motivation was strengthening industry academic linkage. But you can see this was improving researcher productivity and research impact. So, because researchers, also we want them to have impact. So that was their focus. And then we also saw, because lack of academic staff with industry experience, so it also tried to see how can we give academic staff industry experience and also opportunities for students to be attached to industry, So this was, and also to support curricular development. Also, these are two basically they are different complementary approaches. So the CB for ICT, the challenges. So these are the contrasts. Itatu, challenges in problem-based learning, matchmaking. These are the key objectives of Itatu. So the other one was industrial fellowship, faculty members attached, industrial studentship, students with a job offer can finish their degree or continue researching when they go to work, and also giving postdoctoral fellows, students who are finished to do that. And therefore, what comes from out of this in terms of the design? Okay, industry immersion approach was maybe better because they went to the industry and stayed in the industry and worked within the industry. In our case, students they talked to the industry, but they basically stayed outside the industry. So okay, there are lessons you can learn there. But also you always have to ask yourself, if you take someone to the industry, are you not blinkering ideas? Because the idea is also to develop ideas. And we know sometimes when we try open innovation, it's because companies understand that once you're immersed and you look, you cannot see, you kind of get blinkered. So you tend to go to depth. Sometimes you go to open because you want new ideas. So you cannot say which is which. So that's a kind of a debate we can have. Those are the kind of issues we want to discuss. Should it be open or should you stay away so that you don't get influenced and start now thinking the same way because you want new ways of thinking, So, but also, obviously, problem-based learning and industrial fellowships can actually be good because if you're going to have problem-based learning, obviously you need people who have been in the industry. So those are some of the lessons coming from there. The next thing. So again, here it was, we had an implementation team with the youth. Obviously, it was MSM, KEPSA, and LIWA, who initially was the partnership. So try to have somebody to link, because linking industry with academy, that was LIWA. KEPSA obviously is private sector, MSM. That was how the design was. And so that was how to create those linkages. Because you need brokers in these models. And here, also, the other people, they had an advisory board made of university administrators, industrial managers, and again, LIWA was also involved in that project. So again, how do you broker that relationship? Because you need to have a brokerage system between students, between universities themselves. You know, university and students are different. yeah, universities and institutions, students, and also the companies, or the industry bodies. How do you create that brokerage, yeah? Okay, so we can't learn much from Itatu because finally this partnership never really worked out because there was some delays, yeah? But you can say involving faculty members, directly, industrial managers as part of the advisory team would work better, yeah? Yeah. Again, and how to frame partnership is key. This is what from CBT, ICT, the project saying. How do you frame? How do you interest? Because the other thing is to interest universities. If you say we are coming here to provide students with opportunities and so on, universities are more interested. How do you build the capacity of the university? So you have to find how to frame things so that it becomes acceptable. So actually, you know, Itatu, we never really dealt directly with the university. We dealt with the student the student registers on their own. They came to its platform. Though obviously the universities were aware of Itatu because we had talked to the administration, but we didn't go to the administration and say, okay, we want students. No. Students from their own teams, they had their own chapters, they went, they marketed to other students, and the students came on board, yeah? And so there were student ambassadors, yeah. And what is the incentive? We were said, you can acquire new skills. This is why we are asking you to come here. The other people was, they signed MOUs with universities. So they worked with 3 universities. I think it was more Nairobi, Strathmore, and JKUAT, yeah? And students were selected from the university, only those students from those universities could apply. And it was even more restricted because it was only computer science students who could apply, yeah? And therefore, it was also, again, there was provide some incentive capacity building, yeah? But now, if you work with student director, obviously it means that you don't deal with university bureaucracy. It can be huge. And some of, like Ken, have been university administrators, though he was efficient, but still, university is still a government institution and it works in certain ways. And it can be lengthy to even get. I remember the Aunt King Hiro was quite frustrated trying to, because she tried many universities and she couldn't get traction with a lot of them. And she has resources, she has funds. Just to have a meeting took forever. To have an MOU took forever. I think they took almost 1 year to get started because of those bureaucracy, yeah? Yeah. But then if you work with the university, obviously students can get other support from the university. So there is everything has a trade-off. The question is what should be the way, yeah? Again, Itatu, we said it's multidisciplinary. Students from any discipline, any level could participate, yeah? So motivation and diversity was a key thing. Here was focus, these are focus, computer science only, yeah? And student conducted research, they only did PhDs and masters only, yeah? As we didn't care, anybody, yeah? But then also the student working individually, not as a group. So here it was team approach, here it's individual. Though there was peer, they also formed as a group, they could come and share what they are learning. But essentially it was one student, yeah? So we say diversity, yes. We can argue that diversity creates network. We can also argue lack of discipline, focus, also can bring students out of depth because, and we did experience that with some of the teams which said, okay, we want to develop this, we want to develop a technology, but we don't have somebody who has some ICT skills. Yes, sometimes you can lack the depth sometimes, yeah? Because the other one, so it's breadth versus depth. What should be the focus? Yeah? So, okay. The other thing was problem solving, working in any sector. That's what we want. These were highly focused on certain sectors. Again, computer science, yeah? Again, these I've mentioned. So the idea is, teams, again, free riders. I'm sure students don't like saying, but I think you did experience some students who never showed up and did anything, yeah? Yeah. 8 weeks the design thinking. This was a longer term. It was more like a semester. You do your research even longer for a long time. So you got into depth. Here it's 8 weeks fast. It's like a sprint versus a marathon. Again, which works better? What would be the best way? Yeah. Multidisciplinary approach again we say it's breadth. It's again breadth versus depth. Do you want breadth in terms of idea, or do you want depth in terms of solving a problem? So those are the things. Okay. So these are the questions that I would want this panel to ponder upon. So what should the student selection be? Should we care about level? Should we care about motivation, or is it academic qualification? Should we say the students who have the highest GPA are going to select? Or is it the students say, I am, as you saw, students from architecture decided to tackle an engineering problem. So their motivation brought them there. If we had said engineering, this is about, they would not have been there, yeah? And I would want, yeah, work directly with companies, yeah, Or with the industry, do you focus industry sector or general focus? What type of problems, ideation, R&D, pain points, design thinking or other approaches to solving problems? Individual students or team approach, again, constant discipline versus multidisciplinary approach. Yeah. Also, in terms of mentors, we basically use generalists, people who are expert in business and many ideas. But do you want people who, like, if you are doing a hydrogen, do you want an engineer to be involved in that? Probably, maybe you may need a combination of both, yeah? And there's also, the other team was one-to-one mentorship, this one was group mentorship, again. Obviously, they have cost and benefit. So these are the questions. Now I think we can call our panelists. Yeah, so Kesu, hand over back to you.
We have a very interesting panel that will be coming up, and please come up as I call your name. We have Engineer B.K. Kariuki from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. We have Hannah Kiarie from the ministry. We have Dr. Ratemo from the Innovation Ecosystem at ASEC. And we have Katuchi Hassandi from Lemelson Foundation. Please come up. Professor Kioni from the Dedan Kimathi University. And finally, we have Dr. Ongoto from UNESCO. Now, these are the big questions that I will ask Dr. Gatune to ask and get interactions. And what we're trying to find is practical solutions. We're looking for ways we can collaborate and work together. We're looking for stories of how it has worked for you. We're looking for insight and knowledge.
Thank you so much. Basically, maybe just to start, maybe before we even go to this question, maybe just give each person just 1 or 2 minutes to just say who they are, what they are doing in terms of industry-academia partnership, and generally what they have felt about it, yeah. For some of the few lessons, maybe even other questions that you think are relevant.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is B.K. Kariuki from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, where I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Besides that, I'm the director of University Industry Liaison and also Intellectual Property Management. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Cyprian Makiaratemo. Today I'm here as a member of the board of the Association of Startups and SME Enablers of Kenya, a network of innovation actors, maker spaces, innovation hubs, co-working spaces, and so on and so forth. But I'm also a senior lecturer and dean of the School of Pure and Applied Sciences at Mama Ngina University College. I am also a founder of an innovation hub called Icons Hub, far away in the village in Kisii. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you. As you heard, my name is Hannah Kiarie Mudhoni. Yeah, I work for State Department for Industry as a Deputy Director of Industry. And this Itatu actually has been my baby. I've been chairing the CIT, that is a contract implementation team, and also a member of the PIU, which is the Project Implementation Unit of KIEP. So we have come a long way, and it's a big day for us, and we are very proud of what our students, and even our team, all the team members, even the corporates and everybody has done to make this day a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Katuchi Kasandi. I am an ecosystem builder with the Lemelson Foundation. The Lemelson Foundation is a family foundation based out of the US. And the main focus of Lemelson is 1, to create inventors, and 2, to strengthen the ecosystem in which the inventors operate in. So Lemelson has a very wide mandate, but I sit in the practice that is concerned with strengthening the role of universities within the innovation ecosystem. And with that, I would say that I have 2 mandates. 1 is around running something that we call the Kenya Innovation Ecosystem Funders Forum, which is a group of 8 funders that are concerned with strengthening the role of universities within the innovation ecosystem. So some of the funders are like FCDO, British Council, Science for Africa Foundation, Lemelson Foundation, amongst others. And what we are doing together is coming together to see how can we scale our funding to ensure that we are strengthening the university system so that it can be able to effectively support the Kenya innovation ecosystem. And secondly, as I said, Emerson is a foundation that is concerned with grant making here locally. So one of the things that I do for them is ensuring that we are building a pipeline of STEM-based innovators in this market. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Professor Dirango Kioni. I'm the founding Vice Chancellor of Dedan Kimathi University. I've been there for the last 15 years. I just retired as a Vice Chancellor. Now I'm involved in building an entity for United Nations Economic Commission for Africa called Origin Research and Innovation Labs. And I'm also running a special function of developing the Dedan Kimathi Science and Technology Park, and this is one of the first national science park in the country. I've been associated with Itatu. I was there at the launch last year, and we've also worked with Dr. Gatune. He holds a UNESCO chair in my university, chair of future studies and socio-technical anticipatory systems. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel Ongoto. I work at Kenya's National Commission for UNESCO as Deputy Secretary General in charge of research, partnership, and resource mobilization. But for many years, I've been involved in youth empowerment, and really this is very good to be here. I work with Professor Gatune on issues of anticipation and foresight and future literacy. The Professor Kioni has talked about the chair at Dedan Kimathi University of Science and Technology. And I'm really happy to be here. Could be, if you want to know what is Kenya's National Commission for UNESCO, UNESCO as an intellectual organization of the United Nations is the only UN agency that has an institution within the government that is normally referred to as National Commissions for UNESCO. And I'm really excited to be here. And it has 5 functions of giving great ideas, giving a clearinghouse for information, and a lot of capacity building, which we do. And it's a catalyst for international cooperation. And lastly, it's a standard setting institution. And,
okay.
This really fits very well to what we do.
Thank you, Dr. Ngoro. I just want you to hold there because I'm going to, first of all, maybe start with you. And maybe we don't have to follow. The question is, one thing, what kind of problems can students solve? Because we said, and you know, one of the things, UNESCO obviously is interested in the idea of foresight, futures literacy. In fact, that's why we have a chair, we collaborate with him in trying to spread futures literacy. And one of the things that you find that even when the MOLA, which is a globally accepted kind of a platform, they basically focus on foresight challenges. Because you want to see the future. Because now, right now we are in what you call the transition, green digital transition. So the future is actually coming at us quite rapidly. And obviously, it's young people who can see that in a different way. Because the question is, yes, for the MOLA, yes, it works very well because they have big companies, they have research, and those companies have the luxury to look ahead and see what is coming out there. But in Kenya, where you are really dealing with a smaller, medium-sized company, probably their question is, how do I solve some immediate problem? But the question is that when if we're going to our platform, where should we, where do you think students can be most contribute?
Thank you, Prof. Really, I don't want to go to the background, but it's important to really talk about the background so then we know where we are coming from. The first industrial revolution, Africa was not there. Second and third. Should we be in the same shoes as our forefathers? If you look at the Global Innovation Index, do we see African countries at the very top? Where are we? If you look at the research landscape globally, Africa has about 18% of the global population. But what is our have we taken the 18% of the research that is happening globally? Have you looked at the statistics? We're hardly at 1%. So the question is, who is eating our lunch? Somebody must be eating our lunch. So you as young people, and that's why I want to thank Dr. Gatune and these problems. The world met in 2015 in New York, gave us 17 Sustainable Development Goals. There are 169 targets. Even merely talking to all the experts, any expert, whether in tourism, in agriculture, in industry, they would give you problems. They have a lot of challenges. So the challenges are there. So it is you to pick the problems. From the targets, you will see, why are we not achieving those targets? And then create problems, create solutions from those problems. If you talk to an educationist, anybody doing agriculture, in industry, and on, even at the university, healthcare, the problems are there. Like, as we always say, in fact, it's like all the problems that exist in the world are in Africa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think maybe, Professor Ken, we can just come that way, because as we go, you reflect on, actually the questions are always there, you can also reflect as you talk, because I just wanted to start the conversation, because any of these questions that are there, feel free to address any of them. But as you go along, Professor Ken, I know you have dealt a lot with it. You are a researcher, at the same time, you have been solving problems at a local level when you are with Kimathi. I think you worked very closely with one of the counties. I think it was Laikipia and so on. So you have a way of, where do you think, and even your students, I think you have been solving problems in the industry. The question is it research? Because as you saw one people and mentioned, is it research that we go, is it the undergraduate that we call and develop ideas? Or should we combination, how should we create that? Who should we involve? And what should we try to tackle as students, yes, as academia?
Yeah, it's a simple answer. We need everybody. And I will explain why.
Yes.
What Itatu has done with the undergraduate students is really spot on, and that should continue, because the industry is looking for a graduate who has a different attitude. They have an entrepreneurial mindset when they go to work, because of the changing, the rapidly changing ecosystem. Industries need entrepreneurial workforce for them to adapt and survive. So doing this with other graduates is spot on. The next thing is you're asking about is the issue of research. Yes, it should continue to research because when we talk of startups, sometimes we look at startups by looking at with the rear view mirror, and we are looking at the industries that are there. We also need to think of industries that are not there and have to be created. And the people who do that are basically the young people when they can start it from undergraduate level or do it when they go to the master's and PhD level. And to do that well, you even need to go earlier than just the undergraduate student. You need to get them when they are young, even in secondary schools. And the major weakness that we now have in this country is that we introduce our young people too late to these new technologies. When you have the groundbreaking innovations, they are done by young people, sometimes the first year, second year. The reason why they're able to do that, if you think of Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, the reason why they're able to do that is that they were introduced to these technologies at a very early stage. So by the time they're in the university, they already have an idea, and they already have passion, and they already have a clear view of where they can go with those technologies. Okay. So there is work to be done in doing that. Then when you talk of, I'm just picking on the issue of the big companies. We need to be aware, the big companies are here in Kenya. Safaricom is big. I was just checking this hotel, for example. If you walk across along this corridor, you find another data science workshop being sponsored by somebody else. As we speak today, in Kimathi, we have about 269 delegates from all of Africa, from 27 countries in Africa. They are all sponsored by big companies, not Kenyan companies, foreign companies. Yes. So those companies are here. Just 2 weeks ago, when the president was in the United States, one of the key things that was being discussed was the CHIPS Act, because the leading chips manufacturing companies want to relocate to Kenya. And these are some of the discussions we are now having. Yes. They have started giving us the kind of statistics they want in terms of workers. One of them has said they need 1.4 million people in the electronics industry. Out of those, they need about 75,000 microelectronics engineers. So, and those are the kind of things we are talking about, because they want to relocate to Africa. So, so we need to look at the scope from very early across the entire spectrum, and then we need to also broaden the coverage. Yeah. So
let me pause you there a bit. Maybe as we go to Katushi, because I know Katushi is about inventors, and you know most of our inventors are in the street. There's people banging tables, metal out there. They're the Juakali. That's where the inventors are, and it's unfortunate, obviously. We should be trying to see how to support them, even as innovators. We didn't do any challenge from the Juakali. And I think as a Lemison Foundation, how do you see even universities? Because, okay, companies involved, we have talked of formal here, talk of big companies and so on, but the reality is that the biggest industry in Kenya is informal. Yet, they innovate, but then they cannot innovate up to a certain level because they don't have the rest skills and so on to move to the next level. And I don't know what you think about that in terms of how do we involve the informal sector in this industry academia? What way? Well, some thoughts on that?
Oh, so thank you. One of the things that I will start by saying is that Lemelson has typically not worked directly with Juakali. Most of the people that Lemelson has worked with tend to be in engineering or doing biotechnology. So looking at a more highly skilled sort of like workforce. But if I was to come back to your question, I would say that something that is very important to Lemelson is really ensuring that whatever challenge that students are being supported to solve is actually addressing a local need, because then that's the only way that you're able to commercialize that invention, because it has to be demand driven, it has to be influencing, it has to possess a huge market gap. And as you've highlighted, Juakali sector contributes like almost 80% of the economy here. And just to step back a little bit, and I mean, to reflect on the question around what stages, or at what level should we, what level of students should we be supporting to participate in some of these inventions? I would say a lot of it should be driven by the outcomes. Clearly today we've heard that there are different pathways that even a program like Itatu could actually be able to influence. There are pathways towards, for example, increasing employability skills. There are pathways towards creating innovators or inventors, and depending on what the outcome is there, I think there are different levels of students that you can engage. In our experience, especially with some of the work that Lemelson had funded at Kenyatta University, it was very evident that sometimes when you're working with student innovators, at that undergraduate level, the best way to leverage them is ideation. Students at undergraduate level have a lot of creativity. They have a lot of space to fail, because at the university you can fail forward, but as John had highlighted, in a company you're looking at cost, you're looking at revenue, you can't afford to fail forward. But within the university, there is space for that. You can fail, you can pick yourself up, etc. So how do we leverage that space for innovation, not fear to fail, to do that first step of ideating on what are some of the inventions that we could be able to support? Then, again, in our experience with Lemelson, especially in the healthcare sector, we found that at that undergraduate level, we were able to identify some of the novel ideas that could be developed, and then we worked with a team of experts to now start sieving out which ones have the potential of addressing market needs across the globe. And at that level, we would move those ideas from undergraduate students to global health fellows that are either at a PhD or a master's level. And these guys were now the ones who are taking these ideas to clinical testing, manufacturing, etc. So I agree with Professor Kioni, where we need a value chain where undergraduate students have a very clear place where the role that they play. And then once they've done that initial work, like what we saw today, how then do we move to, like, for example, Mobius or some of the companies here to say, now here are the ideas. How do we work with your engineers, with your R&D people to further build this and in the process, develop the students?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you. Anna Kiari, obviously, with this is your baby, the ministry, and you were very clear that you wanted the students to be involved. And you wanted them to support companies. I just wonder, what kind of challenges or what kind of problems do you think they would solve? Or what was the thinking of the ministry in terms of because you want to improve productivity of companies. And you are saying yes, but you also want students to be the ones who drive these. So what in terms of expectation, what kind of problems do you think they would want, they could solve? How do you think, just a reflection, and also on the other, we can start there for the time being, from the motivation of this Itatu, or the into the academia platform.
Oh, thank you. So, as I mentioned earlier, I work for State Department for Industry. It is under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, where the KIEP, and it's a project funded by World Bank. So, as we are saying, we were looking at having this program being student-centric, and that means we were looking at it, as we have, from my other colleagues have talked, the fact that students at whatever level, maybe because, like I would say, even right now, the way Kenya has embraced the CBC system, we are finding that even the very young ones have become very innovative, and they are coming up with very good ideas. And so, as we have said that we have been left out in the other industrial revolution, we are now in the fourth. And so for Kenya to be able to loop in so that we are no longer left behind, that's why we saw as a ministry, it's important that our students, they be they in TVET, at the universities, that they are able to look at the problems from whatever the companies are having, or even they could even come up with ideas. Because as much as, yes, at one point, whatever is able to pose a challenge, but now as they mature higher, because they will even graduate, somebody can even be working there and be able to actually design the solution themselves. So this way, we get people who are able to question, as opposed to people who are, like, the way sometimes previously the graduates were produced, like, if you are working like in a factory, you just told, do this, mix this, do this. Sometimes you don't even know what is there.
Thank you.
Such that we are able to, the people be able to understand more and come up, they look at the everyday work and be able to bring solution.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, yes, the students even here, they were involved. Even TVET students were part of this work. And I think the idea, and even Kioni has even expanded, maybe we should even sometimes also even ask secondary school students, because ideas can come from anywhere. And actually, maybe Dr. Atemo, you can also reflect on, what about the university and the faculty? Because really, we didn't involve the university much, as you saw the other one involved the university much. And also the faculty were not also involved much in this. Where do you think they should play? Because you are faculty, you are an innovator, you are what? You can be able to say, where do you think
thank you.
playing a role in all this?
Faculty have a role to play in this because they also can create, they can innovate, especially with the students, because students are supervised by faculty. Postgraduate students are also supervised by postgraduate faculty, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of co-creation, there is a lot of co-innovation, because they consume the same knowledge in the course of engaging. Secondly, when this is domiciled within an institution, then they become critical people also to manage certain aspects, because then you are able to apply controls through them so that the process from ideation to implementation can be achieved, because an idea starts with just like a spark, but it needs to turn into fire, and this fire needs to prepare food or something like that. So they also therefore form part of that team. The other aspect is they are better equipped with research skills. So refining that idea so that its applicability can be assessed, the scope and other aspects, that can best be achieved when faculty are involved.
But maybe I push back a bit. Sometimes the faculty also have not really had industry experience. So you're solving an industry problem maybe without really having, may have research knowledge, but maybe not the industry knowledge, and you're trying to solve a certain problem. So question, how do you balance that?
The fact is academia-industry linkage is very critical, and that's why I really appreciate the Itatu project. But still, when we talk about growing and making these linkages useful, faculty and need to be assisted to grow so that they are able to support students in getting the best out of that arrangement. And also, faculty are at the heart of developing policies for the institution. So they have to have this understanding so that they inject the right guidance in development of these policies so that the arrangement of the partnership between academia and industry works. Then there's also the other thing of, getting through the process. An idea starts with an undergraduate student or even a diploma student. But more often than not, we look at this horizontally. But there is also, the vertical. A PhD person will look at a problem from on top of a mountain.
Yes.
But a diploma has some other gift that this person does not possess. So it means that connection within an institution to appreciate that diversity vertically can best be tapped, through involvement of faculty, because you will realize that some of these students are
should they come as an institution or should they come independent? Because again, we are trying to talk of a platform where all students from all over coming there. They can also come. Do we have to have the institution directly involved? Or does it bring new bureaucracy and just makes things harder?
Well, there's the aspect of bureaucracy, but the bureaucracy comes because of a number of reasons, including the fact that institutions are not ready for these arrangements. So I support the fact that institutions need to be involved. It may be a painful process at the onset, but we are talking about institutions being able to engage with industry. And institutions are separate entities from students. Yes. And in some instances, we have entities within an institution that are charged with the responsibility of supporting ideation, innovation, and implementation. So when we recognize these entities, we have to make a decision whether we want industry and universities link partnerships to work, in which case we have to achieve transformation even with the institutions. Okay. And so segregating the institution and working with students separately does not, it may provide a temporary reprieve, but in the long run, it is not an effort towards making it work.
Okay, let's hear from Engineer Kariuki, because he has been living this, because he is actually in charge of industry academia partnership. Maybe what you have experienced with it, how you think it could work better, and even addressing some of these questions that you see here, which one because you have a long experience in this area.
Okay, thank you very much. When I introduced myself, I said I'm in charge of university industry liaison at Jomo Kenyatta University, plus management of intellectual property. There are the two gentlemen who are panelists here from industry. One of the things they kept going back to is knowledge. I didn't count how many times Mobius mentioned knowledge and how many times Address Africa mentioned knowledge, but they kept on emphasizing that knowledge is key to solving problems, and that is the truth. When we were created as a university industry liaison office initially, we thought it was going to be a walk in the park. We thought I thought myself, because I was the person in charge, that is 14 years ago, then I had time to walk around industries and say hi to them, and then we look at what is that we can do for them. The first place we walked to was the Minister of Industrialization. We were working with the Minister of Industrialization then, and the first thing I asked, can I have a list of industries in this country so that I can go knocking at their doors? But I could not get. And then I suppose that maybe right now they have. Then, as we struggled with that of trying to get how do we connect with the industry, we realized that industry is looking for knowledge. It's looking to connect with the brain of the university, not the body. It is looking for the knowledge. Around the same time, we realized that our institution did not have an IP office. That time, University Industry Liaison did not also include the IP office. And that is why we realized that knowledge, when it is created, it has to be organized. Knowledge has to be organized for you to be able to work with the industry. There are no doubts about that. JQuat, one of the core activities is innovation. And innovation, the way we describe it at our university, is application of knowledge in solving problems. And that knowledge is acquired through running, which means when you get somebody in first year all the way to fifth year, along the way as they run, they should come up with a problem, with a solution to a problem. They should be able to, we are opening up their capacity to look at things and say, I think these things needs to be done in another way. So running is very important, all the way from, including kindergarten in other places, they will consider running from kindergarten, that knowledge is not wasted. If you go to South Korea, one of the leaders in this Global Innovation Index, I think this time around they were number 10, you find that you are introduced to how knowledge is packaged from standard 5. In Kenya, it is a struggle. Nobody understands why they acquire knowledge, whether it needs to be organized to interact with the industry. No, nothing like that because of our curriculum. So running all the way from there, standard 1 to 8, it is taken useless. It's considered to be useless. From 1 to 4, useless. These people go for science fairs and things. Whatever they come up with is considered useless. Then you go to university, first year to fifth year, let's say for engineering. Nobody looks at that knowledge as one that can create or solve a problem in an industry or create an innovation. Then you go to master's and PhD. In JQuat, we have got an institution of the Pan-African University, which is called PAOIST. It takes people from master's and PhD, because in this part of the world, we consider that you can only start thinking. Your intellect can only start operating maybe at master's and PhD. So when we look at solving problems, problems can be solved all the way from primary school all the way to PhD, and knowledge should not go to waste. What we lack in this part of the world is the way knowledge is packaged. And knowledge is packaged, one of the ways that you package knowledge is through an intellectual property system. An intellectual property system. And that is one thing that we had to do now in Jomo Kenyatta for the last 12 years, trying to understand how you package knowledge through the IP system, so that that knowledge can be passed on to industry, or you can use it to commercialize whatever you have come up with. We have had a lot of assistance from World Intellectual Property Organization in shaping our policy, because our policy did not include, the first one we had of 2010 did not include students. We did not consider the knowledge coming from students as necessary. But after that, after the running we have been through, we have realized that the students contribute a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge needs to be packaged, and it needs to be taken to the right place. Okay, in a number of years, we have lost intellectual property from students who are still there doing CAS and exams to major organizations in this country who are making money when the students still struggling with education, which has been a very bad thing. I've said it is through running, research where you acquire knowledge that produce innovation, or through experience, or intellectual property databases, which are only accessible in this country by JQuat's IP office.
Yes, so I think what is coming out and solve a problem, and even Itatu should even consider even having secondary and primary school students as part of the problem-solving community, and see how to involve them and pair them, because people can think quite differently at different levels. Sometimes people say schools tend to kill creativity. As you go along, the longer you learn, the less creative you are. And you can always see that when they want to go, they even wake up early. After some time, they don't want to go to school, because they were creative, they wanted to learn. Then they now regimented, because we have, as Dr. Ngoro said, we have a fast industrial education system. You are supposed to be trained to work in a production line. That's where you wear a uniform, that's where you sit in a line and what, and that's where you are supposed to be able to sit quietly, and that's why they had monitors and other quietly, because you're supposed to put something for a whole day. That's how they were training people for that kind of work. But now we know that kind of work, it's a different world, so it's a different way, and it's now about creativity. And I think we have to agree, yes. Probably we have to think how ideas can be created, taken by others, taken by others, taken by others. An idea, somebody can take it to the next levels, another level, as creatively think how you can evolve all levels, how you can create a very chain, a problem-solving chain, and say this is where you slot in best and this is where you slot in best. I think, but we still didn't say how do we bring, because now we have said everybody's open, and we know Juakali is quite the industry that is in Kenya. And I don't know, I think JKUAT was working with Juakali, I think, at one time, yeah? You had a foundry. It's still there. Yeah, which the Juakali can go. But I don't know how much students are involved in there, in solving that problem. In working with the Juakali, how much, or they just come to the foundry?
I think that program stopped at a certain point.
Yeah.
But our students continue to use the foundry, because foundry is one component of manufacturing, which is very important.
Okay. Fine. Anyway, I think we don't have much time. I would just want to give you people two minutes, just quick, addressing this and also some your parting shot, because the idea is just to bring what you know about how we can improve on it. So maybe.
Okay, just very quick points on the potential of engaging with the universities. First, it's always good to get a buy-in of the top leadership. They may not do much, but if they open the doors and say, yes, this is something that we welcome, then you've already created a way that you can now go directly to the students and the lecturers. The second thing is that it's always good to sensitize the key leaders. Deans, directors, and chairpersons of departments are critical because they need to buy in. The third level is you need to get champions. Not everybody is going to be converted. Some people will waste a lot of your time. If you get a few champions, then they will drive the innovation agenda. The other thing that Itatu should also take cognizance of is the trades that there are very many other initiatives that Itatu can hook itself to. One is that the Kenya National Innovation Agency is now a big player in this, and it has been given prominence by the government. Based on that, there is a network of universities, entrepreneurial universities, and they are running a couple of programs to build capacities among the lecturers. That is something that we need to figure out how to hook into in Itatu. Then at the regional continental level, there is a new movement of Alliance of Entrepreneurial Universities of Africa. The whole idea is to drive the innovation agenda, entrepreneurship education agenda. Itatu can quickly fix itself into that because that is providing a huge membership, and with that, it's also possible for Itatu to leverage and see what is happening in other parts of the world. The idea is that we should have a huge movement, not just 70 people or 100 people. Basically, hundreds of thousands of young people should be involved in the entrepreneurship and innovation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Really, for me, I just want to say this. It's about encouraging you young people. As you know, you're about 75% of Kenya's population. So the solutions should come from you. For example, all is not lost. We are on the right track. And if you look at the global trends in how people are solving problems, all these rich people are in technology and use of artificial intelligence, and that is where we are now moving to. Safaricom is taking the lead. Kenya and M-Pesa, you know it. Everybody's using it as a model. And if you ask yourself, is it, like, for example, Safaricom, is it a telecom company? It's a technology company. So some of these projects that were shown here, like the one on Kenya Power. Wonderful. The dairy project, I saw it. I said, my goodness, this is the future. And somebody was using Uber and all these other technologies. People, they are making billions out of it. So my take on this issue is this, young people. We are on the right track. If it is our education system, it has now been reformed completely. Because there's this example I always give young people, that a Kenyan from our generation went to America and went to a classroom like this with young people. And then he started telling those young people, oh, you know, you have to work hard, you have to do this, you know, the Kenyan way. Those children went to this head of the institution and reported this guy, and they were sacked. Because it is not about, you know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because some of these people who are now leading in the world dropped out of school.
Okay. But we are not asking.
But I'm not telling you to drop out of school. I'm not telling you to drop out of school, because the thing is, look at the problems they are solving. So the question is, what problem are you solving?
Dr. Ogoto,
That is the question. So, ladies and gentlemen, all is not lost. The thing is, let's partner, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Let's be coordinated. I'm glad we have the Ministry of Industrialization here. Listen to your professors, and then the sky can only be the limit. Because Kenya is now an example globally on how to do the right thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine. But as you give your final shot, let me just get the floor to ask 3 questions, and then as you give your final remarks, you can also try to address some of those questions. Yeah. Let's have from the floor just some.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Kaikai Nepame. I'm the founder of the Youth Champions for Sustainable Development Goals Kenya. My question is, can we let innovation to be open and inclusive? Because even young people in the village, we have chapters across the country. They are innovative, but then we only focus on educated. What about the rest? Thank you.
Well, thank you, panelists. My name is Mwema Wambua, Industry and Investment, the County Government of Machakos. The first question is on the innovation value chain, especially for the university students. As a department handling industry in Machakos, we interact with universities like Daystar, Machakos University, and they have well-enhanced innovation ecosystem. But what happens when these students graduate from the university? Do we have a mechanism to ensure that those innovators remain in the value chain for the innovation? Because our experience is that they really struggle to remain in the value chain of innovation because the university actually provides with them with that infrastructure that is needed. The second question is about the counties. My experience is that counties are coming up with innovation hubs. Like in the case of Machakos County, we have an innovation hub. The question is, what interventions are you putting in place to ensure that we don't just have innovation hubs as programs running counties without that skilling that is needed to ensure that there is mentorship or that would nurture ideas from maybe young people who are not necessarily in the university ecosystem. Thank you.
We have one more that side of the room. Let's take one question from each side of the room.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Laura Mamuli from the Open University of Kenya. I'm really humbled to be here. I've learned a lot. My question goes to these collaboration issues with the universities. Is it because of the bureaucracies or what is it all about? Because I know most universities, and specifically Open University of Kenya, we are engaged in research, innovation, and outreach. So, and we are doing this by reaching out to the common mwananchi through technology already. So is it possible, is it something that can be relooked at so that we have the MOUs with the universities so that the students are covered under these universities? Because we also want to be ranked worldwide as being innovative. And it's through the students that we are able to attain that. Thank you so much.
So the questions are about how do we build the whole innovation value chain, county innovation hubs, how do we cater for them, and innovation for all. There's innovation also in the village. How do we focus on those who are not educated? And then the collaboration bottlenecks with the universities.
So let's Katuchi take that as we come.
Can we take these and then do another round so that we don't have too many questions flying?
Katuchi, maybe you can answer.
Thank you so much, and it's so interesting to see how everyone in the room is passionate about innovation. I think, based on my experience, I will start with the industry-academia collaboration. That's my expertise. That's the thing that I'm passionate about. Last year, and it's great to see you, Dr. Stephen, behind there. Last year, one of the things that I was doing was working with Kenyatta University to help them build their strategy around how to better engage the innovation ecosystem. And before that, I used to work in the entrepreneurship space, and my biggest priority was building partnerships within the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And what I've seen is how you build partnership in the entrepreneurial ecosystem is very different from how faculty and academia build their partnership. Most of the time, as a person with partnership speciality, when I'm going to build a partnership with a partner, I want to understand what's your problem, how can I help you solve your problem? And then slowly we are able to build a relationship, and based out of that relationship, you start seeing value enough for me that now you start giving me business. And when I'm going there, I'm very clear on what this partner is doing and what my strengths are. So sometimes as academia, we forget that our strength is in talent, both at undergraduate and faculty level. We forget the infrastructure that we do have in terms of like labs, and even things like ethical review boards that as a private sector, when you're trying to run a research, you need to leverage academia to access those types of things. And then thirdly, sometimes what as academia we forget is that we have very good public sector partnerships because we already have like a public sector culture. Universities are run with a public sector culture. So for example, it's very easy for a university to unlock partnerships with the Kenya Bureau of Standards compared to a private sector who's working with entrepreneurs and trying to do the same. So that's one thing around like what's the value proposition are you building? And then the second piece to it is as you're approaching the private sector partners, the culture is very different. So how do you find partners like Itatu if they do exist within the university, or like in KU, Chandaria Business Incubation and Innovation Center, that already have a precedence of working with the private sector, and they know how that's done and leverage it. Because I remember when I was in KU, I would speak to faculty who they would tell me, and their mandate is to build relationships with industry. And they're like, when I'm sent to engage with industry, the thing that I want to go is ask them for money. No, you have research, you're coming there as an equal partner, wanting to share what you do and make sure that you're leveraging that to build more. So that's one. And then I'll say the last thing, Dr. Gatini.
Yeah, please.
So this is related to the innovation value chain.
Yes.
So within the innovation value chain, I think we've outlined so many things here, student innovators, faculty. I for sure know that within the university ecosystem, university leadership, faculty, student innovators, and connections with the innovation ecosystem is a very crucial system. But once the students leave the university, how do you make sure that you're still able to support them? Something that I've seen is that even with the work that you're doing with Itatu, thinking about how do you build alumni networks that then enable you to see the impact beyond university, and even using those alumni networks to be places for mentorship, to be places for further resources, and to track that support beyond them being in the university. Because universities are not structured to engage with non-university students.
Yes, I agree. Probably that may be what Itatu can do, because some of even our students have graduated and probably will continue engaging with them. I think maybe Dr. Ratemo can address the issue of village, because she asked about people who have not gone to school, people who are the innovators. And I think you said you already have something
Yes.
in the village. So you have this, you have done this.
Yeah.
So maybe you can...
yes, absolutely. Innovation is not limited to students who are undertaking a diploma or degree and so on and so forth. It can come from anyone. And so in the rural areas, two things. One, through universities, because we are discussing industry-university partnership and something like that, university have community outreach. And part of community outreach programs is to support community even in discovering knowledge that is being born, right, that is being generated in their circles, and do something about it. That's one dimension. The other one is hubs, like the one I've been operating for 5 years in Kisii. So such a hub provides an opportunity for anyone who feels like they have something that they can turn into that they can commercialize or turn into a venture to visit such a place. And if such a place has necessary infrastructure and support, then they can get it there. In the absence of that, now as an actor in the ecosystem, I recognize other actors in the network. Like as a member of ASEC, we have different people who do different things. So through that network, such people can be referred. If somebody wants to fabricate a device, they can be sent to a makerspace so that they can get the services they need to be able to turn the idea into something that is viable. So those are some of the dimensions through which innovators, far away from where the heartbeat of innovation can be able to benefit.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe I can also say something about
quickly, please. Quickly.
Yeah,
we are running out of time.
About county innovation hubs and their emergence and whether they need to be regulated to provide good services. We don't yet have we don't have enough hubs yet, or people to support ideation, innovation, and implementation. So we should have as many hubs as schools, but unfortunately we have more churches than hubs. We need more of those. So for me, I don't think it's a problem to have some hubs that are not properly run, but it's an effort in the right direction. Kenya and other actors have the obligation to, over time, streamline the ecosystem and clean it. But for now, let us have as many hubs as possible, or anything that resembles a hub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then maybe the idea of the church. The church is going to they all have nursery, they all have what? Maybe you can incentivize them to also have open hubs in there. And we can have as many hubs as churches. Yeah. They can do it.
Okay. So I want to ask the question from Machakos. Yeah. This one about how do students continue being in the innovation ecosystem even after they have left. And that is a thing that needs to be addressed using intellectual property policies. Currently, there is this policy which universities are being encouraged to do, which is called the second generation IP policy, which includes now, it must have a component of students in it, must have a cross on that, and how you deal with them, including after they have left the university. Previously, all the IP policies did not have that. That is an area you cannot manage without a policy, and that is why everybody is being told develop a policy and ensure it has got a student, and also have a commercialization across that shows that you are not only going to look for intellectual property, but you are going to take it to the place where it actually belongs. The other one is about the bottlenecks, university industry bottlenecks. And these ones have been there, and they were discussed sometimes back in 2011 in a meeting which was, in a conference which was held here in Nairobi, organized by Association of African Universities, and all universities were recommended to actually create a university industry liaison office. Now, JKUAT went ahead, and I think at that time you had already done that. But the other thing, you find that universities which have created those kind of vehicles or offices, they are created under some other departments. So to reach them, sometimes it's difficult. In JKUAT, myself, I'm directly answerable to the Vice Chancellor. So I don't have so many other steps that I have to go through when there are issues to do with innovation or whatever, I go straight to the Vice Chancellor, and then we discuss it from that point. So is the point of anchorage, where do we anchor for effectiveness the office that deals with those people who wants to interact with us as far as innovation is concerned?
Thank you, Engineer. And actually, it was a very good, we had a very good interaction. That was quite fast. Anyway, do we have, I don't know how much we are doing in time. One more, okay.
We have one round.
One time, and you'll clarify then. Okay, let's
we have one round, but we also want to get into the online viewers. There are some questions that they have raised, so we wanted to give at least 2 or 3 people from the online viewers. Team?
Hi. So there's one question from Isaac Newton online on YouTube. Is it possible to be holistic so as to address ethical issues and also the standards of products that will be consumed at the end of the day?
Okay, so we can take the others.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Dr. Maina from Kenyatta University. I think mine is a short one. What you find is that because we have been going to a number of conferences, there are so many innovations which come up with students, and they are all over. I don't know what the ministry is doing because now bring these people together, because some of the innovations belong to the same class. But there's that problem of bringing these people together, and also how can we scale up? Because whatever will happen is that ideas with the student, when you go there and find whatever the government is doing, also has a different idea. And therefore, they might end up doing something different, but student had ideas, but nobody borrowed from them. So the ideas are now overtaken by events. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mine would be, we have students who have presented their ideas today. How do we help to ensure we protect the solutions that have been presented? And more or less, it's more or less on just the ethical issues. How do you ensure that we protect what they have presented today so that when they take it to the next level or someone does not run with the idea? Maybe Engineer Kariuki can help on the IP.
That's last one.
So we can have one more. Let's have.
I think it was you.
Good evening. I'm a student. I'm trying to see how Itatu can cooperate with universities. So I deal with mycology research, and there's less mycology research in Kenya. What we are doing at KEMRI, we are trying to build capacity for mycology research. And one way to do this is trying to design a curriculum, going to the ground, seeing the real problem and designing a curriculum and trying to take the curriculum to universities so that the top ranks can actually implement the curriculum and teach it to students. So Itatu also can go back and identify the real problems and have a curriculum that is specific to address the problems that are in the industrial.
So that's it, yeah, okay. Maybe Hannah can start and address.
Okay, thank you. I think there is something Dr. Maida asked about the innovation and the scaling up. We really invite all those efforts because, as we say, as government, we are all government. You know, sometimes you don't know how to define government. Government is a big animal. So even you represent because you are citizens of the country. So we are happy when we hear their efforts, and we have been collaborating also with Kenya So even as we hear that there are some innovation hubs coming up, we had actually proposed, right now there is something the ministry is spearheading, the county aggregation and industrial parks in the 47 counties. So where we are trying to upscale the level of value addition, as we realize that agriculture is the backbone of Kenya, and the counties are the frontiers where industrialization is supposed to take place. So in those, we are hoping also to domicile the hubs. So right now, as they get started, we also have hoping so that we can domicile some of the hubs there. So if we have some of the universities and also other people doing that, and even we encourage even the universities to have those hubs, such that even this issue of bureaucracy, it can be cracked. Because I remember we attended a workshop with Katuchi, sometimes in Westlands, and they were telling me the way sometimes they are trying to get to those, to the campus, just to write a letter or something. But these days, this era of email, this era of SMS, yeah, because you don't have actually to write a letter, to actually ask. Yes, you can. There are so many ways because we are in a digital government. So things should be made easy. In our ministry, we are able to work with our website, and somebody can actually draft an email through the PS at industrialization.go.ke, and once we get it from there, he is able to mark directly to the officers. So it becomes so easy to talk even with the general mwananchi. So the same way, I'm also now posing the challenge also to the universities, such that is also you would also want to, have also those, like the way now Itatu. Now we are having the students there. Yes, I told them yesterday you also need to represent your faculties, and also you are, it's good also to brag. I come from this university, from this faculty. Such that now, if the universities break that barrier of bureaucracy, it becomes so easy for even Itatu as it moves forward to come and approach you, even as we call upon for more corporates to come in so that we can collaborate together.
Thank you. Maybe, yeah, I think we are running out of time. Let's just give Katuchi the last clarification or some comments, and then maybe we can close this.
Let me give Professor Kioni, there's something you wanted to clarify first.
Yeah, it's good. We should not always be in a hurry. This is why we don't get things done. We need to give enough time to some of these issues, otherwise there's an opportunity that is lost. Huh?
Yeah, okay, yeah, but still time has to be managed. Okay, fine.
I know,
go ahead.
yeah.
Let's not go forever.
Please have the time. Don't keep it all. Okay. It's very important. I wanted to bring very strongly this issue of the hubs because it's something that is going on. They are being done at different levels. I'm happy Madam Kerry has explained that every county is going to have an innovation hub. And these are monies that are allocated for construction. Then what she left out is that also the CDFs have been allocated money to develop hubs. So you're going to have hubs in every constituency. So you're going to have something like 300 hubs in the country. And they are not small hubs. I'm involved in design of one. And we are working, this is the one that is close to my university. So we are working on the details and trying to engage the members of parliament. How do you make it effective, and how can it help the young people? So I mentioned this so that as we talk about these programs, we start looking at that opportunity so that the transition we are talking about can take advantage of that kind of infrastructure, because it's taxpayers' money. It's a lot of money that is actually being deployed in the development of those hubs. So that's one. The second thing is that there is this transition we've talked about, the pipeline. There is already development of the National Science and Technology Park. National Science and Technology Park are huge, huge investments, okay? So in my introduction, I said I have been in Kimathi as a Vice Chancellor, but within the university itself, the Ministry of Education is developing the first National Science and Technology Park. That is an investment of a couple of billion shillings. That provides opportunity for also startups, the kind of Itatu, for example, the other people who are running startups, to come and locate in that kind of environment to create transitions. When I talked of the huge companies you're talking about, They are the companies that provide the market and provide you with the transition from what you're doing to creating your own enterprise or to having a place where you can sell to other people and to the rest of the world. So let's be aware of some of these things. We've talked about the issue of the village, how to engage the online person has come up many times. There are very many models of doing that. And what, again, we need is, if you have enough time, is possible to show some very clear models of how, as innovators or universities, we can actually engage with the communities. And as we do that, the idea is not to think of communities as people who don't have ideas. There are a lot of good ideas that come from those career sectors. So we have a lot of models that we can share on how that can actually be done. But if we don't have enough time for some of these things, we talk about them. And then
for sure, Kenny, we cannot have
go
all
back
the time.
home with solutions.
Let's just let's try to keep it very short. Quickly, maybe IP and then maybe something else. But for sure, I think Kesubire here will matter me if I continue this.
Those presentations were wonderful. When they were going through, I could tell whether this is an app, a copyright, or this is a patent. Which means they are IP which requires a right, like a patent or copyright. I didn't see anything to do with the new breeders, new plant breeders, right? It was to do with either copyrights and patents. Now, there are two bodies that deal with those two kind of intellectual property, all right? One of them is KIPI, the other one is KICOPO, Kenya Copyright Board. For you to go to the board or to go to KIPI, you must prepare your work. You must prepare your knowledge that is into something. And then that is what you present to them. It is in the preparation where there is a big problem and where Jomo Kenyatta excels, Jomo Kenyatta University excels, preparation of documents that require to be presented to these boards. Secondly, you have presented those things now. Time you start counting from now, in 12 months from now, you cannot apply for a right. It has become anybody else's property. You have got a grace period of 12 months within which to claim your right on what you have put here. If somebody puts it across, now go to keep it, like me now, if I were to put it down something and I go to keep it today, you have lost it. Because they will think I am the first person to go to them. I am the person who invented. So those are some of the things we need to know. And as I've said, those things can be explained in deeper details. Jomo Kenyatta University is very good in this, in trying to get to there, whatever.
Yeah. On that note, maybe we can come across. And I would ask you if you have time to give a seminar to this. I can organize an online seminar with all these students, and you probably can help them to understand what they need to do if they want to, those ideas. I think I want to give you back, Kesubire, because I know you have been looking at me very harshly.
There's no problem.
I'm not sure whether do you want to give parting shot. Just tell me what we do. Because now I know they want parting shots, but it will be forever.
The
time has run.
One sentence. Absolutely. You consumed part of that time. Other than protecting, right, it's good to encourage students to move with speed. Execute, get known for something, have a website, have huge traffic into it. Quickly, some people would have been potential thieves of your ideas who will give up and think that you have run ahead of them.
A round of applause for this rousing panel. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. I like to say when a topic cannot end, that is a good place to have another session to discuss that matter, because these matters don't end. Why? We need so much to be done. If you listened, there's a whole question of holistic, expansive, making it more available. And those are the things each of us must take in our space and do. We must, where's Dr. Iratemo who runs a hub? And he said something. He said, better off a hub that is incomplete than none at all. So I wanted us to demonstrate something. We have a few partners who actually have things they're doing that we believe Itatu can collaborate. Now, I'm calling up two ladies. Ladies, you have 3 minutes, and I will stand next to you. I would like to call up from the Ministry of Education, Dr. Joyce Ngure. Yes, ma'am, please come. We want to hear in 3 minutes what you're doing and the synergies between that and what Itatu is doing and how we can work together.
Just from here.
Yes, just from here. I am standing next to you.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon. Yes, I think the conference was supposed to be the whole day, yeah? So now what I can say is that the Ministry of Education, we have been amicus curiae in this Itatu process, and would have, but it's good, it was done by industry. And what we can say is that the Ministry of Education has actually done a lot where innovation is. And when you find that we have done policies, when the universities tell you they have done IP policies, we are the ones who actually have told them in performance contracting, please do them. So the ministry, as much as there is a bit of bureaucracy and also with institutions, they actually really help. The other one is like when the incubation centers, Manuchandaria, within the first big universities, it was actually a performance contracting target, and you can see it actually worked. When you look at things like the infrastructure development, those laboratories and everything, that's the Ministry of Education. When you look at curriculum, anytime you want to change curriculum so that we can be able to better serve innovation, as you can see, our students are not the way people put it in the media. Our students are very good. I mean, clap for yourselves. So we are not producing half-baked students. All we are doing is that industry come forward, support us, and you can be able to work with us. Even as we do curriculum, join us, so that you can tell us this one is a bit outdated, because if we don't do curriculum with industry, we'll not be able to give what is right for our students. Then we are also doing mainstreaming of STNI, that's science, technology, and innovation. It's even been done up to the TVET level. And I can assure you that when we go to innovations, we have so many innovations. It is so rich. But industry has been our problem. Itatu has actually cracked the nut for us. Unfortunately, we were amicus curiae in this process. And I can assure you that there are so many. The only thing is that we were actually making innovations on our own without industry. And so when we are trying to look for industry, it may not fit in. But with the Itatu process, you find that the solution is from the industry. And just on a light note, I convinced somebody that Mobius is doing a hydrogen car. And please don't embarrass me. And when is it being launched? That was because I've gotten the microphone. Yes. And all I can say, there is much more, but I've been given 3 minutes. Yes. So please, I would like us to partner together with Ministry of Education. We are very good. We are people who can work. We have our own weaknesses. Professor Kion, you know that, but at least we have contributed to the STP, you know, at the Dekut University. And I can assure you we can work very, very well. Where you find synergies are required, industry, education, and I'm telling you, we can have a very good, what do you call it, movement for innovation.
At Itatu, we call it revolution.
Or revolution, yes. And Kenya is under us, NRF is under us, NACOST is under us, the ministry is there, and we give directives and they follow. So universities are very good, TVETs are very good. Thank you.
A round of applause. She's done very well, hasn't she? Now, the thing I've had there is, you know, okay, now my students will understand. Remember we said everything we're doing is the vehicle between one end and one end. So Itatu becomes what? The vehicle of operation. Fantastic. I will call up Mrs. Teresa Wafula. Are you here? Wait. 3 minutes. I know there's something you want to add.
It's fine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nekesa, known as Teresa as well. That's my baptism name. I am a venture builder of Agri and Climate Tech with the Alliance of Biodiversity International and SEAT, specifically under the initiative of the Accelerate for Impact platform. And the reason we are here is because we are looking for collaborators, not just with Itatu, but also with the institutions that are represented here. So what do we do exactly? We valorize CGIAR innovations. You can Google CGIAR, you'll be able to see what CGIAR does. It's a big institution that is in over 90 countries and with over 15 research centers across the world. So we valorize CGIAR innovations. We have over thousands of innovations that we try to take out to the market, so it's in line with what is happening here. We also have like a venture science PhD that we recently launched. So some of you who might come into contact with that in the future might apply for it or even some scholarships. But we know that there's a lot of research that is done, but most of the times it's done within a timeline or because a donor from the market rather than donor-driven objectives. So what is our call to action today? We are looking for collaborations. We are currently in the middle of launching an Agritech for Kenya Innovation Challenge. And what we are looking at, I showcased. I know I kind of like did 3-minute pitches with some of you, asking would like some of those innovations that especially have a minimum viable product or a into this can actually apply. You're qualified to actually apply. And we even encourage academic institutions to apply because our mandate lies with the academic institutions and also national. We would like to align with already existing programs. We say we don't need to build something that has already, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So if it's already being done, then what we can do is how do we then plug in? So definitely we'll have some discussions of how do we then plug in. I've seen the Minister of Education here, so I'll definitely get in touch with you as well. And the other thing is how do we then get market or demand-driven innovations out there? I think it was clearly put up that we can only address problems. If there are no problems, then we can't innovate. So if there are those problems, how are we solving them? Then those are the things that we'll be looking at as we move forward. So I'm looking forward to having more discussions with the teams that are here and see how we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a question for you on a light note. The ones who you asked for 3-minute pitches, did they do well?
I would say yes. Who do telephone farming. Yeah.
They did well.
Yes.
Clap for yourselves. That is progress. Remember what we were doing yesterday? Fantastic. Every good thing has an end. And sometimes the person who gives the first remark needs to give the last remark. Philip, this is your domain. Key highlights.
How do you want the summary to be done? Bullet point. That's good. I've got them. At this point, we're very much grateful to the 2 panel discussions, to the presentations by the 5 groups, to the various participants, stakeholders who have spoken, who have provided insights on how this Itatu platform can be taken forward. This is a list, but it's not exhaustive. But going forward, key messages which have come out and together with other stakeholders would want to push forward is, let me pick from the last point which has come out very clearly, that these innovation ideas are protected. One, they need to be registered in the 2 umbrellas. The IPRs, where KIPI falls under the State Department, or Kekobo, where it falls, that's an issue to do with copyrights. Then from there now you move to the aspects of how do you commercialize? And for you to commercialize, you must have at least a minimal viable product, which an industry or a farm is willing to take forward. As a way of information to the students, I think 1 year or 2 years ago, registration of innovations, inventions from the youth, the fee had been waived by government so that they can go through KIPI, Kenya Industrial Property Institute, and register their ideas for free. Why are you not clapping? So I think we have a working arrangement with KIPI. Gatune, see from the ideas you have, which one can be progressed to the packaging which we've been told they need to be packaged. Then now we progress them to KIPI. KIPI is still under the ministry, so it is within our reach, and we can convince them through the program of CAPE for them to register. So that is taken care of, and we can quickly move to that direction. Second item is on the multidisciplinary approach. Today we've been told whether you are in Standard 5, Form 1, second year, master student, or a professor, you have the leeway to provide a solution. And these solutions are critical at all levels. This is critical for us to be able to solve and provide solutions to the myriad of problems we have as a country. Looking at the statistics, you know, unemployment is rising. The GDP is not expanding as the way we would have wanted. Manufacturing sector is not expanding. We have challenges with agriculture, value addition. So some of these innovations would contribute to reversing some of these trends, and it will help us avoiding some of the social evils which our youths are engaging. Thirdly, quite a good quote. Every precious mineral has a factor of, or as an aspect of? Yes. It's high time we move from generalist to specialist on different areas. The matter you do it with a level of precision, a level of commitment. Whether you are in the rural area, whether in urban, somebody will be able to support you and will be able to come and work with you, not support you, work with you, and to develop it to the next level. One key thing we've emphasized to the MSM team is, one, these ideas need to have a business model. Unless it remains another research. Universities, me and you, we went to the universities, we did masters, we did PhD, we did thesis. Why are they remained in the shelves? It lacked some aspect. The business model, the cost factor, the two gentlemen from the industry were combining. If these two elements can be combined very well, now we can help Joyce now move the resources from the shelves. They become a startup, they become an industry. And in that way, we contribute to the growth and development of this country. Finally, all stakeholders would want, as a ministry, would like to move forward with it. There is no segregation. Remember, CAPE was a pilot project. We have Ministry of Education, we have the universities. These are critical stakeholders when you speak about triple LX. Industry, academia, and government. The universities fall under the academia. Ministry of Education is a government together with us. So how can we fail to work together? So these stakeholders have to work together so that we make sure that Itatu is not just in the beginning, but it moves to greater heights. So in a nutshell, those are the key highlights. I don't know, the MC will tell us whether she had summarized another one. Those are the key ones we've been able to get. Let me stop there for now. Otherwise, asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Philip. I think the one that excites me the most is that we can take projects forward through KIPI at no cost. So one of the things we like to do at Itatu is the whole collaborative aspect. So this, for us, is something we can pursue. Madam Hannah, I know you have many thanks to say. So would you please come and do the thanks? As she comes up, once we are done here, we want to take a group photo before we leave the room. Because we know, once we leave here, we leave here. So we will be giving instructions about that once she's done.
Thank you. Once again, good afternoon. Mine is very brief but important. First, I want to give thanks to God for making this day happen, giving us life. So we thank God even for, we just mentioned the date, but God has made it happen. So we don't want to take it for granted. And we want to thank the SDI management. It was represented here by the Elijah who read on behalf of our peers. This project, as you have heard, is under SDI, is State Department for Industry. For this one's it's an acronym for State Department for Industry. So we want to thank the management who have helped and made it possible for this to happen by having crafted this project, KIEP, and sought funding through the World Bank. So World Bank is not with us today, but we want to thank them and acknowledge that it is through that help, that the seed money that they give, that it has made all this possible. So whatever they are, they receive our thanks. I want to thank the Itatu team, led by Julius Gatune, or the whole team, even the one in Maastricht, Dedrick, and everybody. Thank you even for working with these students so tirelessly and making it today up to this far. So we thank you. Even there was also a team called Demola. Yes, we thank you. Even may they receive our thanks even wherever they are, because they were actually able to benchmark to be able to understand how this industry academia comes, and now we're able to do the design thinking and be able to do the local part. So we also want to thank the students who have participated and taken their time from their very busy schedules. I know you have exams, sometimes you have so many things, but you have taken it upon yourself and done the meetings online, physical, and so thank you so much. And I also want to reiterate that we had a total of 68 students who participated in this function, in this Itatu, what is culminating today. And also the corporates, we thank you for the corporates who have so far partnered with us. We are so grateful. We understand there are 5 in total. There are more who had been approached. And we are looking forward, even as we move Itatu to the next level, that we will be able to get more so that they can come in, as you have seen, what the capability and what the students can do. Thank you also for the PIU team. We have a team we call the Project Implementation Unit. It's for the KIEP and the Contract Implementation Team. I have some of my members who are here. I have Cecilia Mwangi. I have Mr. Wahome, Mr. Michael Ochola, Madam Ruth Wanyonyi, and we have Mr. Maida, who is our project coordinator. And thank you so much, even for gracing the occasion, that they have tirelessly, whatever the reports, whatever they bring out, that they take time off the other activities to make it so that to go through and ensure that everything is up to standard. Thank you even for the other, we have SDI staff who are present with us. We have Mr. Edwin Karanja. He's also in our department in RMIP. RMIP is Research, Manufacturing, and Industrialization Policy. And we have Charlene, and we have Purity, also from the State Department for Industry. They are participating. Thank you so much, even for taking time. Thank you for the management firms. We have the management firms who are also taking part in the larger Kiev family. We understand we have Skies, we have ASEC, and also Startup Savannah. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion. We would not have made it without you. You are all important to us. The UNESCO, thank you so much for gracing our occasion. Thank you even for the support, and we look forward even to approaching you in future for future collaboration. For all the members of the academic staff who are present in the various universities, it's not like that we are trying not to work with you directly, but in future, I believe there are ways we can collaborate. And we want to thank you. Thank you, Mr. BK Karaoke. We approached you sometimes earlier, and thank you because you took it up and you have taken forward. So we hope that even as you teach our students more about the IP, the intellectual property, the importance of patenting, so that they can be able to guard that which they have worked so hard for. Thank you so much. All the universities, I may not be able to list. I understand we have over 36 universities from across Kenya who are participating. We also had some 5 international universities coming from Spain, Finland, and Malawi who participated, and also Demola is from Finland, as I had said earlier. Members from Machakos County, I also had somebody from Machakos County who is participating, from Dedan Kimathi. I think I have included you in the universities, and also KEPSA. Thank you. So I hope I have not left anybody out, but I really want to thank you. It's sometimes very busy. I know sometimes some of us, we have so many assignments, but for you having taken all these hours, we don't take it for granted. As you go well, and go with our regards, and be our ambassador, or Itatu. Thank you so much.
A round of applause. Okay. So, every time you're in school, there's an announcement. The following students, anyway, serious, but on a serious note, there are a couple of students who Mary would like to meet. Please, we'll meet in the corner. Grace, Dominic, Benta, Francis, Vivian, Brian, Immaculate, Vena, Mariam, and Joyce of Garissa. Please, Mary, please come. That is Mary. So you meet Mary in the corner once we are done. So we want to take a group photo now, and we shall take it here. We will move these seats down, and then we will all cluster behind. I think it's good to memorialize near our banners. But it's also good to, once we are done, we'll be going for lunch. So there will be, Mary will stand at this door and issue lunch vouchers. Joe will stand at that door and issue lunch vouchers so that we don't have crowds. Lunch is downstairs in the restaurant. You go down the steps, straight ahead to your left. Lunch will be served, and we can network and hang out and draw conclusions, add, subtract, and multiply what we've learned today. But just to reiterate what Madam Hannah has said, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We started a bit late, but you have stayed with us from the beginning to the end, and my prayer is that the collaborations and the connections we build today will bring forth for multiple generations for our children's children. This is us at Itatu signing out and saying, have a good afternoon, enjoy your lunch. My name is Chesubire Talitwala Greg from the Africa MSME Collective and a mentor at the Itatu program. Asanteni sana. So, my young people, I need your energy. Young men, let me call the boys. We need to move these 2 rows, even these ones, if they consider themselves young, right? We need to move these 2 rows of tables so that we have enough space here. So let's do this. Come, let's do this.